What is going on, ladies and gentlemen out there in the community? Welcome to Wolfpack Wednesdays. This is the new show that we are kicking off tonight. We're going to have news, hot topics, or fresh topics, special guests, and it's all about community. So this is a hangout. This is why it's called Wolfpack Wednesdays. You guys can be a part of the Wolfpack just by joining into the show, hanging out with us. We have two of my Wolfpack brothers here tonight. One might not be able to join, but he's doing whatever he can to join. But the cabin in the woods is definitely holding him back a little bit, and that's Brick Artemis. So hopefully he can join, but if not, we'll get him on soon. He will be active in the chat, but he is going through some technical difficulties. So I also have somebody else behind the curtain that I want to unveil to you, and I'm going to let him come out to his own little intro.
Now making their entrance to the ring, two superstar representatives of New World Order Wolfpack.
What is going on, DLO The Collector?
Ooh,
my guy.
Ooh, my goodness. There goes the budget for the show, guys. I mean, just blew it on the intro. So
I know I spent a lot of money on that stuff, so we had to get it right. But welcome to the Wolfpack, my friend. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I am hyped up on this bad boy here.
Ooh, I like it.
And I am ready for episode 1 of Wolfpack Wednesdays. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Awesome. So, yeah, we have a really fun show for you guys tonight. Again, Brick Artemis is going through some stuff. We're going to see if he can get himself on. Last week was my week to kind of flame out on you guys. Tonight's Brick's week. And then next week will probably be DLO to kind of get back at all of us.
Yeah.
So as long as I don't leave you alone here, I think we'll be okay.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous, not because Wolfpack Wednesday is the first episode, but it just I know there's no Riley tonight, so you go. It's the DLO show.
It's the DLO show.
The spin-off, guys.
Something that kind of we kind of came up with the Wolfpack name just because it was like, we're friends outside of streaming. I mean, we talk to each other almost daily. And we're like,
too much.
Wolfpack Wednesdays, like that'd be fun. Like whoever wants to join can join. So we were gonna have Big Breda as a guest, but then he got called into work. So we're gonna have special guests coming up. Some guys that are on the slate would be 1/6 Fix, Man of Hot Collectibles, 1/6 Figure Focus, obviously Big Breda, with a bunch of others that are going to be invited as well coming up. So lots of fun topics, cool guests. And again, it's all about the community. One thing, though, that I will say that we came up with the Wolfpack name. I've been watching a lot of WCW Wolfpack stuff lately, and it's getting me back into that mood. You ever watch that when you were kind of growing up?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm a big wrestling fan. So, I mean, I watched it then. I watch it now today with my son. So it's Wolfpack days were the good days, man.
And, WCW went under and kind of had to, I think WWF at the time bought them out. But, like, they had something pretty good going on. Like, when the NWO started with Hogan, Nash, and Scott Hall, like everybody was like pissed, like they didn't know like what was going on. And then Sting was my favorite wrestler, so just to kind of see him evolve and then the Wolfpack form is pretty cool. So I'm all for it here.
For sure. It was kind of like it was cool to be bad back then too. If you're like,
that's right,
go to school with the NWO shirt, get in trouble with the principal, worth it. Everybody thought you were cool though. Hey, there you go.
And that's when they were competing against the Attitude Era. So they had to step it up. And I think they did, but it just couldn't last.
Stone Cold and Rock, a little hard to compete with.
That's right.
I want to talk about something.
All right.
I'd like to say something.
Yes, he did it. He did it. I pushed so hard for that clip, guys. You don't know. I love that scene in Hangover.
It's a great scene.
I thought, wait a second, could it be? And now I know for sure. I just added 2 more guys to my wolf pack.
2 more guys. We got DLO and Brick Artemis as part of the Wolfpack. Without further ado, though, let's see who's in the chat. We got Mike Literis. Yo, what is going on? Love the username there. Joshua Johnson. the big JJ Gargantuan. What is going on? We're late. Yeah, we're hoping Brick could get on here, and it was funny too because he's like, guys, I'm on Wi-Fi. So am I glitchy at all? Or am I okay? I'm just like, well, you're glitching just a little bit. I think it's okay. And then he just froze and was out.
I mean,
then it was over.
It seemed planned. To me. I don't know.
Could it be stage fright?
Convenience. Could be.
I don't know.
Never know. I don't know.
Payton 23.
Stage fright kind of guy, though.
No, I think he was really looking forward to it. So I do feel bad if he's not able to hop on, but he will get here one way or another, 1 week or another as well. What's going on, Payton? We got Luis in the house. What is going on? Howdy. Let's do this thing. We got a good show for you. Commander Green, Harold, what's going on? Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Mike is looking forward to this. So are we. We've been kind of planning this for the last week, just kind of coming up with stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we enjoy doing it for you. Joker J, we changed his pick again. It's like Venom. He's pouring cereal with your
That's
hot
Carnage,
toys.
dude.
Had me dying. Yeah. Oh, is that Carnage?
That is Carnage, man.
Okay, that's Carnage. I saw a little bit of red there. I wasn't sure. He said pouring cereal with your hot toys had me dying, Graham. Yeah, so that was my short. If you guys haven't seen it, it was titled "Me Every Time I Buy a Hot Toys Figure," and it was fun to do. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm not the most agile dancer though, so it didn't turn out how I thought it would. Oh, let's see who else we got here. You guys are keeping it going. We got the Thor. Greetings. Too sweet. What is going on, Thor? Wolfpack to you. The Wolfpack is too sweet. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I think we all thought it was fun and just fun to do. Builds camaraderie. So, oh man, we got a celebrity in the house. Howard Chan.
Howard.
Didn't DLO not like those other streamers? USA YouTubers are weird.
In fairness, Howard, I don't like anybody. That's my secret. I don't like anybody.
Now it's out of the bag.
Yeah, sorry.
Nothing better than Piper hitting Snuka with a coconut. The PC crowd would shit today. Oh, there's Brick's in the house.
Piper was something
No,
else.
you didn't fail.
Rowdy Piper.
Your internet failed. That's right, Roddy Piper. I didn't like him.
Yeah, he was a menace. He was a bad guy. He was a good bad guy. He was good at his job.
Austin Nicholas in the house. What is going on? This guy is in charge of passing drinks. So if you guys need something, let Austin know. We got Frank. What up, boys? Hashtag thank Frank. Thank you for being here, Frank. Mike says your videos inspired me to get Maju cases. Thank you. Though you've cost me a lot of money. But you will have no regrets. I promise you. You will be on cloud 9 once you have them put together. Once you have them in your house in boxes, you'll be like, what did I do? Can I turn back? Can I take these back? Because it will seem like a mountain to climb, but you can climb that mountain, I promise you. And once you do, you will be like in awe. But that mountain is tough. Yes, Austin freaking Nicholas in the house. We got Figman. Hello. What's up, guys? The Collector in the house. Hello, my friend. And Boba Fettuccine. We got a pretty good start here, guys. So don't forget to hit that like button. What I want to start here with, DLO, is just some talk about some figures that aren't pre-released. These aren't figures, though, that you have to pre-order. These are just pre-release figures that you have to have. So I want to pull this up on Sideshow. I just want to chat and see what are like one or two right off the top of your head figures that aren't quite out yet, but that you're just like, man, I got to have this one way or another. Is there anything that jumps out on the screen to you?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a few things that are going to be on this list that I'm absolutely going to want. The ones that jump out of my head, like quickly, I would say, just because time-wise, the anticipation, I feel like it's getting closer to potentially releasing, is actually where you're scrolling right now, The Amazing Spider-Man and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Just it's been a year since No Way Home is released, and obviously now having all 3 Spider-Men in figure form as an opportunity now at this stage in 2023. Very hard to believe that there. So, I mean, for me personally, the idea of being able to have all 3 Spider-Men that I grew up with all in one display is really, really exciting for me. So the anticipation is there because I just feel like it's going to be probably released sooner than later, in my opinion. At least the Friendly Neighborhood one. I don't know about this one, but maybe.
This one says July to December, so hopefully it does come out this year. There's no delays. And it does come with this diorama base too.
Of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 version. So it's, essentially have it. And typically those types of figures where they're repurposing something, they usually hit their deadline sooner rather than later. Like that's always a guesstimate there, but realistically, like we're probably going to get this earlier on the estimate side of things there. So we'll see.
You're getting a deluxe, I'm assuming?
Honestly, at first I thought I wanted that, but truth be told, I would be happy with either one. And if I was looking at, depends on where I am at the time of when, because I don't pre-order anything, Graham.
Right.
So
I do know
so
that.
for me, it's just like, whatever's available at the time. If it's a deluxe, okay. If it's the standard one, I'm okay with either one there. I just feel like when you collect as many figures and put them as many in one case as I do, like having bases that size is somewhat of a premium, for me. Because that just means that's one more figure I can't put in my display case there. So, but however, if I get the deluxe, obviously I'll keep it in the box, for rainy day if I want to whip it out. But phrasing.
Pause.
But yeah, I mean, either one I'm good with there. I'm not a deluxe snob.
So obviously this is waitlist already. The collector's edition you can still pre-order, but the diorama base is waitlisted. I mean, can you agree that we've seen more and more figures recently go waitlist? It seems like a ton. I'm getting the feeling that they're starting to correct or trying to correct what has happened from maybe when COVID happened. We had a ton more collectors, including myself, and then the market was just flourishing and they were making more figures because people were buying them. They thought it was just going to keep spiking. And then all of a sudden, I think people with the recession, maybe going back to work, I don't know, just getting out of the hobby or being more selective. And it seems like because things aren't selling now with these newer figures, they're going more towards smaller runs and we're seeing more and more stuff waitlisted. So I'm wondering, do you think that's instead? We used to think it was like a tactic at first, like, well, it's just a tactic, and we have seen some stuff come back. But do you think they're trying to kind of do the smaller runs, kind of recoup some money maybe that has been lost during COVID? Or what do you think is behind a lot of the stuff wasted? Because this is all stuff, DLO, that has not been released yet, but there's all waitlisted already. So here's the full list.
Right.
This is all stuff, guys, that it's just Sideshow. This isn't like you can't get it anywhere. But obviously Sideshow is the USA distributor. So it's kind of jarring to see all of this stuff. So what are your thoughts on that, if you have any? I hope you do.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't, I guess. At glance, it is, it's very intimidating to see a list like this with figures that I potentially were interested in or B, I definitely wanted, right? To see all this waitlist stuff here. And, with Hot Toys and Sideshow to another extent, you can never really tell because like you said, Graham, I mean, we went through this age of where like there was so many figures, so many opportunities, you didn't have to pre-order this. You can wait on this. You can get a discount for this. I mean, but right now, obviously that's hurting Sideshow. It's not hurting Hot Toys because remember, Hot Toys gets paid before this happens. So, I mean, this is not a course correction by Hot Toys. I want to be very clear about that. This is a course correction by the distributor, Sideshow. Now, what's going forward now, if these are real wait lists, then this is because Sideshow is making less requests for orders than they were in the past. So this is a Sideshow correction, not a Hot Toys correction. Hot Toys will produce whatever Sideshow will order, basically. So in this case here, Sideshow needs to make sure that they're not losing money here. I saw the news earlier today. I'm not sure if you saw, Graham, but Sideshow for the first time in decades is not going to San Diego Comic-Con.
I did see that. Yep.
So, so a lot of people instantly are wondering, well, what's going on with Sideshow? Part of it could be saving money. They're doing their own virtual con stuff that they're doing now. And, obviously it costs a lot of money to set up at a big event like San Diego Comic-Con. So, you have to wonder, with all the sales that are going on, all the discounts of the stuff we had from the COVID, period of collecting, is this Sideshow protecting their investment and not getting too deep into their pockets up front? And when I say up front, to answer this question full circle here, like, I believe these are legitimate to a degree, because I think what Sideshow, not Hot Toys, Sideshow is doing is they're taking in, again, this is just my theory. No one knows for sure, but this is just for me kind of observing here. I feel like they're making small batches up front, making sure that they have a well enough inventory to satisfy a first batch of pre-orders. Whatever is selling well, then obviously Sideshow has the right to ask Hot Toys to do a second run, like you see with a lot of third-party figures and things like that. And I think that's a smarter, again, if Sideshow was smart, that's what I would do. I would ask for a second run. Like, hey, this RoboCop is doing really good. We want to do another run on this. And Hot Toys can accommodate, because Hot Toys has done that in the past. They have done second runs of figures. They've done second runs of Yoda from Episode 2. That was an example of that. John Wick was an example of that. Thor from Infinity War was another one there. So it has been done in the past. And I think that's where Sideshow specifically is going with this here. I think Hot Toys will deliver as many as they're asked to deliver. But I think Sideshow really, really wants to make sure that they're not stuck on dead inventory, because the fact of the matter is, if you look at the pre-release list, that's 130 figures.
Yep.
130. That is impossible.
It's overwhelming
for most collectors to do. So someone is going to miss out on something there. But on the marketing side for Sideshow, that looks very good for them. It means pre-order, because if you don't, well, you're going to miss out. And right. that may be true, but I find it very, very hard to believe that if demand is there and Hot Toys can deliver the numbers that they're delivering, there's no reason why Sideshow wouldn't get a second batch if it's becoming a big seller. But the problem here is, it's like, you're just not going to know which figure is going to be that one there, because I don't think every figure is going to get that treatment. I don't think, for example, maybe KX Enforcer, which I'm sure we're going to bring up a little bit. I'm sure that's probably something that's legitimate. I think that's a legitimate one. But, you throw in a RoboCop, you throw in a Batman. I find it very hard that they're going to do a small batch for Batman, a small batch for something like that. So you just got to use your best judgment, and you got to prioritize what you want first there. But for me, just to kind of wrap this all up here, I'm sorry, I feel like it's been long-winded here. For me, the Spider-Man ones, I'm sorry. I went into a rant because it's like,
no, it's good.
What an open question to ask me. There's some, give me something like a yes or no question next time.
No, I think that was really good. Kidding. Just kidding, DLO.
Not funny. Not funny.
All right. No, I think that was really good, just because I don't think we all think about it as Sideshow. I think we think directly like Sideshow's doing what Hot Toys wants them to do. But yeah, like you said, Sideshow is really just doing what's in the best interest for them. So that kind of put my mind at ease a little bit too, because I was starting to be like, well, I definitely want RoboCop. I definitely want the Batman, maybe the bike. That's been waitlist for a while though. So just out of those, there's a couple here. I mean, obviously, this Batman would be cool too to have. Even the Avatar stuff, I think I would want to. So it's nice to know, like, because it is waitlisted now, now they're correcting something, right? So they're making smaller runs, but now they might have to recorrect, because now they're seeing that this stuff is getting waitlisted so quickly that I don't think they can have this many things waitlisted before they actually release. Like you said, why wouldn't they want to tell Hot Toys, hey, we need more, bring more over, and then do more runs like this? So I I think a lot of this stuff will come back, but like you said, some of it, it's not a guarantee.
Right.
But why not make more money if the money's there? So
If the demand
know,
is there.
right. So going
Yeah.
back, see, so now we're back on pre-order. One figure that I am stoked to get. Oh, this might be a cop out. For me, it's going to be, gosh, there's a few here that I could pick, but I'm gonna go with one that's probably coming out soon too, and it's gonna be the Batman. So June to September is what they're thinking, at least right now. So obviously that could change, but did you like this movie, DLO? Or were you kind of on the
I
fence
did.
about it?
No, I liked the movie a lot, actually. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought they took like a different take. I kind of liked the more detective style of Batman, but I also liked that like 90% of the film had Batman in it instead of like
Right.
Bruce Wayne. I thought the scenes that had Bruce Wayne in it were done very well, but I love just seeing Batman and doing the detective work and stuff. So this is a must-have for me. This was one of my most anticipated figures coming up for this year, and it was along with Peacemaker, which I know a lot of people like Peacemaker. And if you haven't seen that show, you got to watch it because it was so funny.
So
And
good.
John Cena did amazing. I gained a lot of respect for him in that role. I actually did pre-order that figure just because I wanted to make sure that I had it. But this looks great. And I think it's going to be a really solid figure. It's Batman. If you guys know me, you know that Batman is my favorite superhero out there. I think it's going to look really, really good. I love this scene. Not sure I'll ever use it for the figure, but the scene was amazing when he jumped off the rooftop. So that's going to be one for me. Oh, $20. That's going to be one for me that I'm going to definitely pick up one way or another. That might be a day one release that I pick up. Is there another one that you are eyeing up here that you want to just talk about for a couple minutes?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, that Batman was a good choice. I don't blame you. That one was mighty nice there. Let me see. Something else that I'm really anticipating. There's a lot there. I mean, for me, I don't know if it's coming out soon or not, but like I do want Mace Windu. You just got to him right there. You're good. You're good, Graham, at this.
I know.
But it's
so easy.
It's so far out, but it's just like, I mean, I started my Star Wars like collection with Darkseid Anakin, Obi-Wan, Maul, Count Dooku, and Yoda, right? That was my start there. And then for years, like the IP was neglected. Like they weren't releasing any other figures. And then starting the Clone Wars became popular again. We started getting a whole bunch of troopers, and there's been like a big resurgence of excitement over the prequel trilogy, right? And now we're starting to finally fill these out here. Me personally, I've always wanted the prequel trilogy, not necessarily for the clones as much as other people. I wanted it because I wanted more Jedis. I wanted every Jedi possible there. I had this vision of having this entire case just full of Jedis and Sith, something like that. And Mace Windu was at the top of that list here. Samuel L. Jackson, super cool, one of the best Jedi fighters out. Jedi Masters fighters out there. And I just thought it would be so awesome to have a purple lightsaber figure, so like all those cool little details there. So for me, I love this release here simply because obviously they did an incredible job with the sculpt, with the tail and all that. And they even threw in some additional stuff that I wasn't expecting, like to have the bonus pieces from the Clone Wars, which I like having options. Options is always a great thing as a collector. It keeps everything from being stagnant. And, again, just having more Jedis for me, that's what gets me excited there. So definitely coming home sooner rather than later. I don't know. This might be one of those figures that I do a day one release or something like that. Just because that is the most excited I am about any
that says a lot.
Jedi figure right now.
So you got a little bit January to June, but again, this is a sideshow. It doesn't necessarily mean, that's when it's going to be, releasing. That's just when Sideshow is anticipating that they're going to be able to probably ship it out. No, that's a good one. Let me just check in with the chat here really quick. Commander Green says it's been A sideshow law, course correction to this point, but not Hot Toys. But Hot Toys can change their plans for making figures that everybody wants because people aren't ordering other figures.
Good take.
Yeah. Something could be going on with Sideshow. They're skipping this SDCC this year. I mean, I don't know too many companies that didn't lose money in the COVID era in the last 3 years. And I'm sure if they've gone back on their numbers and they're just saying like, you know, we're not making any money doing this, it's just not worth it, you know, then that's probably a reason that they're just cutting back too, because if it's not worth going through the trouble, then, you know, we're not going to do it type of thing. We're going to save the assets and the money.
Yeah, keep in mind they've done so many of these like sideshow cons online. Like, I'm sure that they ran the numbers to see how much it costs for them to do a show from their offices compared to doing at Comic-Con, and then on top of that, how much they're generating in revenue. And they're probably saying it's probably not a difference to them as far as profit is concerned. So why spend the extra money? Which it's understandable. It's just kind of a shame because I know a lot of people would go to like a Comic-Con for San Diego or a Comic-Con for New York just to go see the new prototypes and things like that in person, which that's a bummer for the fans.
No, I agree. And you never know if you're going to reach out to new fans and, you know, gain new fans. But at the same time, if you're looking at your numbers and it's just not making sense, then that's a decision. It's a business decision. Peyton says the Batman is my most anticipated this year. Yeah, welcome to the club. Let's get it. Would love to know Sideshow minimum purchase order. 500, 700.
Good question.
Yeah.
We own you.
Find out, Joker, and report back to us, please. Brick, I just want you guys to know I made a shirt for tonight and took an hour to set up the way I wanted, and I still couldn't get the cabin to work with me. To be fair, he was very, very excited. He is in the sticks in his cabin until his house is being done built. So we thought we could get him in sooner, but yeah, it just wasn't working out. So I hope he's able to figure it out and join us sooner rather than later. But Big Breda also says he wants us to know he made a hat for tonight, but got called into work. Sorry, guys.
Bet you it was a good hat.
I bet it was a good hat.
R.I.P. to the hat.
And to the shirt.
That was a sweet shirt.
That was a cool shirt. Take a picture, put it on IG. Everybody go follow Brick on IG and go see that shirt. Batman was good, but I was not a fan at all. All of the characters' interpretations, Catwoman's knit cap, I can't read tonight, across her nose looked ridiculous. Did I read that in the right tone?
It was enough outrage. I'll allow it.
I don't know. I mean, I knew this was going to be a different movie, and I think I accepted that. I knew it was going to be slower paced, more detective, and I don't know. I was okay with it. I didn't really have any problems.
The movie didn't have to be 3 hours long. That's my only complaint about that.
Maybe towards the end it started, getting a little long.
Long in the teeth there. But overall, though, I think for a new Batman series, pretty good. I didn't think Robert Pattinson was going to be a good Batman. He was actually pretty good. So I'll definitely tune in for the next one because I mean they're gonna do a Penguin spinoff. Did you hear about that?
I did, yeah, HBO.
So it's here to stay. So
and there's gonna be another one. I think they're doing a trilogy actually.
I would hope so. I mean, it'd be a bummer if they stopped after this one, but don't know if James Gunn has another Batman in mind. That's the thing. That's the interesting part about that Batman.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but I did hear that Reeves' Batman is separate from that DC universe.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that it's going to be like that.
I think it's just going to be its own entity, and maybe they'll have another Batman. I mean, can't get enough Batmans, right? I just wish Affleck would have gotten his own solo movie.
Oh, man. I'm trying not to think about that anymore. Lost a lot of nights of sleep for that. Yeah. It's not fair.
Enrolled Agent says, well, who else would distribute Hot Toys figures? Sideshow is a niche market. They will be fine. No, I'm not saying Sideshow's in any danger or anything like that. I'm just saying they probably lost some money through COVID, so they're probably just like, this isn't worth it for us to do, so they're just not going to do the SDCC.
They're in a little different situation than like most companies. Most companies are losing money. They can increase the cost of their goods. Can you imagine if someone posted an Iron Man figure for 400 and then due to unforeseen issues, we had to charge you 500 for it? I mean, the community would go nuts, enrolled agents. So I mean, yeah, we're not saying that Sideshow is like, you know, it's going out of business or something like that, but obviously they're stuck in a weird situation. They're collecting community retailer / distributor. So
right.
A little hard to do what other companies did in order to survive during the pandemic. They cut prices, people raise prices. We paid $10 for eggs a couple weeks ago. I mean, come on.
That's crazy. Really quick, I want to say thank you to my boy Andrew James for the $4.99 super chat. He says, I'm off to bed, but I had to pop on, show some love. Thanks for always being a good friend. Appreciate and respect you, dude. I appreciate and respect you, dude. And I want to say thank you so much for the super chat. It is awesome. So this is for you.
So, you've decided to step up to the plate and support the channel. On behalf of the Jedi Knights Watch, we want to say thank you so much for your contribution. Not only will it help us to improve the channel, give you great quality and entertainment, but it'll also help us take over the world. This one's for you. Thank you so much.
You don't know how many takes I had to do to get that right and how many double shots I had to do to get that right. So thank you.
Just to make sure it was good for you guys. He took more alcohol shots.
I sacrifice and I put it on the line for you guys.
Let's
Thank
keep
you,
it coming,
Andrew.
guys. Let's get Jetty drunk tonight. Drunk with that super chat, cha-ching.
Bing. Most anticipated figure is anything from Comic Cons.
Are you still waiting for your figure, Thor? Oh my
man.
gosh. I hope he's not.
At that point, the anticipation would probably be killing me.
I don't know. I'd be pretty peeved at this point here. I mean,
Yeah.
It's the Luke, right, Thor? You ordered the Luke Deluxe, right, from Mando?
Yeah, something else too.
Okay. Oh boy.
I don't remember. But Andrew says I miss collecting hot toys. No, man, we miss having you in the community. I think that's what we miss the most is just seeing you around, seeing your pictures, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, just let us know when you want to jump back in. But I know everybody needs a break, and he's been doing some other stuff. So it's been like flying airplanes and stuff like that. So
That's cool.
cool. Yeah. Commander Green, I'm holding my Black Series Commander Wolf while watching the Wolfpack stream.
Nice.
This guy knows what's up. You get yourself a little Wolfpack symbol. Thank you. The Thor, still waiting, huh?
Yeah.
See.
Sorry to hear that, Thor.
Double shots. Yeah, that's how we do it here in Wisconsin. We take double shots. So, all right. So, I think you just gave. I'm gonna give you guys one more. We're not gonna harp on this too much here. Andrew says it's a flight simulator. Relax. I know, but they didn't need to know that. You know. So
Still cool though.
it is cool. It looks fun. One more that Mantis. I'm just going to go through a couple really quick. So Mantis is obviously one for me. 89 Batman Deluxe. Getting that one. Bane is going to be one that I got to have. Bespin, Luke. There's a lot here coming, guys. That's jump in if you see any of that. You're getting Moon Knight, right?
Not getting Moon Knight. Not going to
Okay.
get Moon Knight. Yeah.
All right.
Keep that one off the list for me.
Catwoman?
I don't know, man. I'm still inside. I had the whole Dark Knight trilogy years ago, and I sold it all. And then the DX19, the NR Joker. I don't know if I want to recollect the 2.0s. You know, I feel like I've had my share. I might get Bane and a Bat Pod and call it a day, because at least those are things I didn't have. But I don't know about Catwoman.
I know Brick's not here right now, but this was he's been dying to get this Wanda. And I thought maybe last week when we did our show, I thought maybe, just maybe, there's a chance she'd be released. They're still holding on to her. Has this been 2 years yet?
It has. It has. This was the second longest delayed figure outside of Loki from Endgame. So now she's sitting at the top of the mountain by herself, being the most delayed figure we have right now at the moment. It's
I
crazy.
want this one.
I mean, a lot of people want this one. I mean, but I hate this about, Sideshow's production here, where, we're all excited about the Scarlet Witch, and then now we have a second Scarlet Witch right behind her. So it's just like all the hype for this is gone at this point here. Like, I feel like it's going to be, some people will get this one, some people will wait for the other one, but
Which one do you prefer? Just kind of, do you like this one better? Or do you like the more devious one?
I like them both. I mean, I know it's a cop-out answer, but at the same time, for me, like, I'm not overly excited about that version of Wanda, simply because I don't think when we see her, she's going to look like that one. I think she's going to look more in line with this one here from the Multiverse of Madness, because I feel like when the figure's delayed for so long, it never looks like the prototype anymore. Like, it's a complete mashup. So it's either going to be diversive like the Loki was, where people hate the skull, then hate this, that, and the other, or it's going to be one of those ones where they did a ton of updates to it and everybody loves it. But I feel like the Multiverse of Madness one is a safer bet for, if you like the look, it's probably going to look like this. But for the WandaVision one, I feel like she's not going to look like this when we get her, personally. So I'm kind of waiting to see with this one here. That's why I haven't said which one for sure I'm getting yet.
Weren't people thinking that this was going to have seamless arms or seamless body underneath? Or were we not?
I don't know if that was the case,
but going to switch to that, but I don't remember seeing this.
Oh, well, no, that was there. That was definitely there. I think that upset a few people when they saw that part there. But hey, you know what? But maybe this is one of those things where they use the new Wonder Woman style torso instead, or the Ahsoka one or something like that. Just don't bend the elbows on Wanda, I guess. One of those things.
God,
can you imagine?
I cannot. No, I like this base too. It looks really nice. I think the outfit's pretty cool too. I think this is, because I was going back and forth on this one. I was like,
sure.
Well, first I was like, do I need a Wanda? And I'm getting closer and closer to thinking I do. But I think this is the one I'm leaning towards now, where at the beginning, I think I like the other head sculpt better. But I don't know. Something about this one looks like the total package for me. So I think she's going to come home.
She's very heroic looking. Like, if you're looking for the hero version of Wanda, there you go.
Right. So, Brick, I know it's been a while and you can't hold up much longer. I gotta think she's coming out this month yet. It's my gut. Now, Sideshow, you pre-order her through Sideshow, you're probably gonna wait another 2 to 3 months, but
yeah.
Because what's funny, I don't think the 84 Wonder Woman's in Sideshow yet. And
still not. You're right.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, guys. So
they're at my local store, but not on Sideshow for some reason.
It's a head scratcher, and I know I like ordering through Sideshow just because it's comforting, it's safe. No questions asked. Something breaks, you're good. So I get that, but sometimes though, like, there's a couple of these figures, like the Batman, maybe the Vader when he comes out, I'm willing to spend the extra money to get it from overseas, to get that day one purchase, because you never know if you're going to wait 2-3 months for Sideshow after the fact. And by then, I mean, you still want it, but at the same time, it's like, I already waited 2+ years and now you're making me wait longer. Maybe it won't happen with Wanda. Maybe she'll still come right away. But the fact that could happen is just gives me the chills.
Very strange how they deliver their figures out there. And just, I don't understand it. Because I said, like, it's 15 minutes away from my house. I can literally jump in my car right now and pick it up if the store was open. It's just strange that, I don't know, it's been out, how many months now would you say, Graham? Like, what, 2, maybe 3 months now?
At least 2.
At least 2, right?
I think February, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was February.
I mean, that's a long time for it to not still be on the available list there. So
it says expected to ship May. So
we're in May.
The other one's waitlisted. We're in May for 2.5 more weeks. So, all right, let's just let me check in here. Y'all getting Daredevil? It's not too high on my radar. How about you, DLO?
I want the original one, if I'm being honest. I like the all red suit compared to the mustard and ketchup look. That's just, but I mean, it might grow on me and I might get it down the road, but like I really would prefer if I had the original Netflix outfit personally. So I'm torn. Peyton.
Joker says, do we get a secret handshake in this Wolf Club? Who's the grand poobah? We're working on the handshake, actually. So I'm thinking in the next few weeks, we're going to have something for you guys so that, people on the outside won't know, but we'll all know on the inside when you're doing something. So we'll see.
Stay tuned.
The show's going to keep growing. Like DLO said, this is the pilot. If you guys hate it, we scrap it. And I just lose out on all the money I spent. And if you love it, we're going to keep going. So this is episode 1. Let us know if you guys like it by hitting that like button. And we'll keep doing it.
I'm going to get recast. Somebody else will be playing DLO in a couple episodes. It's going to be fine, guys. That's how these things happen.
DLO, if you didn't make the cut, we're going to go with your doppelganger. Cad Bane's one that I do want. But I'm not going to lie. I've cooled on it a little bit, with all the hype dying down. Book of Boba not being that great. But I think, and you guys can think whatever you want. You collect it how you want. Your displays how you want. Don't care about what anybody else says. I would just put them with my Mandalorian figures. What do you think of that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, for me, like I have more of attachment to the live action version, even though his time was short, more than I do have to the Clone Wars, because I wasn't a Clone Wars first kind of guy. I always tell everybody I'm a live action Star Wars fan over animation. Not that there's anything wrong with animation, but for me, just that's how I like to, get my media in, I guess. But I don't see why it can't be in your Mandalorian collection. That's kind of the way I wanted to do it, right next to Boba Fett. But it also works if you decide you want to do it with the my screen went off for a second. I was like, oh, did my whole system power off? But no, I was gonna say, or I'm gonna put it with my Clone Wars collection, because I'm like, is my camera on? Like my whole screen went off for a second. I'm like, oh God, no. But yeah, I would put Cad Bane with either. You can put it with your Boba Fett or your Mandalorian figures or your Clone Wars. Either way, I think it's an alien. It's a cool looking figure. I think it blends in anywhere you put it.
Yeah. And he was one of the high points of that show. So it is still one I want to get. It's just, we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, Joker says Wonder Woman is everywhere but Sideshow. Have her on order too. That's crazy. And so, okay. So Wonder Woman, come to think of it, Wonder Woman was delayed twice. And that was supposed to come out, I want to say January of 2021. So it was like a year late because it was delayed twice. But then, so now think if you guys pre-ordered that like day one pre-order. And then she got delayed twice. And then she finally got released. But Sideshow doesn't have her for 3 more months. Can you just imagine like going through that as a collector? And I wanted her from Sideshow, but when she got delayed a second time, I wound up canceling the order, got my NRD back, and then I just day one ordered her and I got her right away. So again, depending on where you go, you might pay a premium of like $50, but for me, depending on the figure, I'll do it once in a while, and it'll be worth it. But I do not do that with all my figures because I can wait on most of them. So, but man, that's crazy. That's like two and a half years if you're still waiting on your Sideshow order for Wonder Woman. So it could be worse, Brick. Either of you getting the BARC speeders? No,
I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why, Sneaker. For me, I am starting to get, and don't hate me in the comments for this here, but I am getting troopered out. I'm exhausted with troopers. I love troopers, but like it's the same thing. Like if I had my favorite steak every day, it would cease to be my favorite steak. That's just how I feel like the current status of like all the troopers we're getting here. If we got it every now and then between one main character and then a trooper, maybe I'd feel a little bit better about trooper collecting. But for me, it feels like a rabbit hole that I can never get myself out of if I get into it. So I'm going to say XA, no say to those Trooper A's.
Well, there you heard it there. We should all get matching tattoos, like in Hostel. I like that.
It's very dark. No, it's very. I don't know. I saw that movie. I don't like where you're
I've
going
never
with that,
seen
Joker.
Hostel, but I'm all about
Don't.
getting matching tattoos.
Don't. We can get matching butterfly tattoos after the show. I'll introduce you to my tattoo guy.
Cad Bane is a must-have. I think I'm following D'Lo's way of not pre-ordering unless I defiantly want it. I'm just tired of Sideshow holding on to my money and then delaying. I'm turning 53 this month. Happy birthday. And I think I'm on waitlist. No, I mean, I think that's a lot of us. That's honestly one of the reasons why I don't like to pre-order anymore. A, they took the fear of missing out on the figure away. B, they, like you said, they're holding on to your money for long periods of time. And then C, you don't always get it when they release. I thought, maybe, when Doc Brown was coming out, some of these other figures, maybe Sideshow was getting a little bit better at getting these figures on time. Because Doc Brown, I got the email saying like he was going to be shipping somewhat soon, and he wasn't even released yet. So like we thought maybe they're getting to that, but then there's no rhyme or reason to this stuff. So it's very frustrating. I totally get it. And that's why I'll just wait until it's like there. I know there's kind of that risk now. We're seeing all of these waitlisted items, but there's other ways to get them too. Sideshow's not the only place to get them. However, it probably is going to be the most convenient. So you do have to kind of consider that as well. But I don't know if you have anything to add to that, D'Lo.
No, it's very well said, Graham. I agree with everything you just said there. I think it's just one of those things where, at this day and age, if you're a collector now for more than a year or two, I think the best thing for you to do for yourself is do your research, find other retailers out there. There's so many that I still to this day, I'm still finding new ones. And, sometimes Sideshow isn't the best for me simply because, I have to pay for taxes. I have to pay for shipping. I can't use a coupon that I want to use. So, I mean, every now and then, it kind of is kind of pointless for me personally, again, to order from there. But, you can find retailers out there that are linked with local comics stores in your area or maybe out of state that have the figure for a little bit less. They don't charge you tax because you're not ordering from the state that they're from. So you can get away with that. So, I mean, I think at this stage of the game, if you guys, like I said, if you're a year or two into this, start exploring, start looking for other retailers, start doing your research because, I'm confident about not pre-ordering from Sideshow because I've done my research and I know of a million places that have everything that we're talking about right now still there, right? But I know that because I've done the work on it there. So I implore you, if you guys want to try what I'm doing, do your research, find places that can do the same thing as Sideshow. Because you got to remember, the big claim that everybody says about Sideshow said, well, their customer service, I don't have to worry about if something happens. Everybody who sells hot toys in North America have to be Sideshow distributors. They have to be part of their pilot program where they essentially, you're affiliated through Sideshow indirectly, which means you have to follow their pricing, but also you get their warranty exchange process as well too. It just takes a little longer because you have a middleman. And that middleman is the owner of that comic book store or that website there. You'll still get a warranty if something breaks or something like that. It just may take longer. So, I mean, that would be the only gripe you would have there. But if I can save $30, $40 on a figure and it happens, hey, that's the gamble I took, but it's the safest gamble you can take. It's not like you're going the complete opposite, doing the Toys Wonderland route and, your SOL if something happens to your figure, you got to pay for your own shipping. I mean, no, you're still going to be taken care of because it's still a Sideshow warranty through the comic book store or wherever website there. So I don't know, just if you're going to do what I do, all I say is just definitely do your homework, find other locations, get feedback from fellow collectors and friends and see what their experiences were and, make your own decision from there. But if you want to play it safe, there's still absolutely nothing wrong with just putting down an NRD with Sideshow and just waiting it out if you have the patience for that. Me, I don't like them wasting my time and my money when I can go 15 minutes down the block and pick it up right there for the same price.
That's
so
crazy.
Everybody's different.
And why did you have to go and say this? This is going to piss a lot of people off. I ordered Wonder Woman from Sideshow in December.
That's the other
got
thing
her
too.
the first week of March. Good
Same
for
thing
you.
with me with
but,
Ahsoka.
man, that's crazy. Because we used to think you pre-order day one and you're going to be first in line to get it. And then people thought, well, if you do payment plans, you're probably not going to be first in line to get it. So you're better off not paying at all, just the NRD, because then they're going to be able to collect all the money at once from you. So they'll do that first. So then you'll probably get yours first. But then that's, again, is there any rhyme or reason to who gets what? I don't know. It's almost like they're picking out of a hat. It's just weird. But good for you getting Wonder Woman. That's crazy.
That's nuts there. I pulled the same thing off too with Ahsoka a few weeks ago when it was a release. I said, okay, I like it. I'm gonna put my money down. All I did was put an NRD down. I think maybe I ordered in February, and I got confirmation. I want to say at the end of March that it was on its way. And I still have friends that pre-ordered way before me and still don't have. I actually think some people still don't have it that I know. So it is a strange thing. I think it's the idea of like they don't have all my money, so they want to make sure they get my money faster.
Right.
Because they only have is like $40 of mine. And my buddy probably did a payment plan and he's paid in full, so there's no rush to fulfill his order because they already have his money. But I'm still a wild card there, and they probably want all of my money. So there's like, let's get this guy his figure now. So
that's right.
I don't know. Just a guess.
No, I think that's a pretty good guess, but yeah, who knows? Dragon Duelist says, I wish I could get Sideshow / Hot Toys, such a great line. For now, I'll stick with Black Series and Hasbro Lightning Collection. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can still be a part of this community. If it's something that interests you, maybe down the road you get one or two and, you stick with what's in your budget. So, there's no right or wrong way. You're always welcome here. You can always be a part of the Wolfpack, no matter what. Robo-Bat Bunny. I've paid secondary market prices too many times now. I'm not messing around anymore. I'll gladly wait. Sideshow needs to start paying people to wait in line at Secret Base. I wish we had a Secret Base around here. It'd be cool.
Seriously.
I'm new to collecting 1/6 scale figures. So far, I have bought figures from Sideshow and now Geek Toys. So far, they've not disappointed. That's awesome. No, and Sideshow is, you're good to go. It's just, when are you going to get it? Nobody knows, but definitely solid. I haven't tried Geek Toys yet, but for me, it's mostly Sideshow or Toys Buying Agent. And if I'm going used, Buy, Sell, Trade, or eBay. Those are typically the 4 that I stick to, but there's other good ones out there. I mean, I've heard of Pop Collectibles, Line Rock, is it?
Yeah, Line Rock Toys.
Line Rock Toys, amongst a couple other ones as well. Let's see. What's Brick got to say? March of 2021, Wanda was available for pre-order on Sideshow. He looked that up with like a vengeance. So yeah, that's. I mean, once you hit the 2-year mark, it's obviously getting kind of brutal. So, but I did think it was even longer than that actually. But that's probably when the show aired. So.
Yeah,
can you imagine how different your life was back then?
Yeah, I couldn't leave the house. And I think toilet paper was still in demand. Yeah, there was a shortage. We had a shortage of toilet paper, didn't we? Like
I think so. And we never knew if the world was coming back or not. And yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how long this stuff takes, like, and how your life can change in the 2 years of it coming to pre-order and then actually being released. So it's kind of a mind blow.
Yeah, we went through a whole pandemic before we got Wanda. I mean, think about it like that. We all went back to work, but we're still waiting for Wanda.
Commander Green says, I know people want to stand on the not pre-ordering hill, but I'm sure pre-ordering helps some of these smaller shops stay afloat. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, support your local business as well. Sometimes, too, I know what my comic bookstore will do is if you pre-order with them, I think you get a 10% off. So there's a little bit of a markup there because they kind of have like the shipping included into their price, but still, yeah, I mean, if you like going to your local comic book store, and I know DLO does, and he supports them, then support yours as well, and then hopefully they'll stick around. Some of us don't have those either, though. Like mine's about an hour and a half away, so they are kind of few and far in between. So yeah, support them if you can. You don't know, with some retailers, I ordered Clone Wars Ahsoka, got her in 2 weeks when she dropped from Sideshow when everyone was waiting well over a year. Crazy. All right, we are caught up. So we've been talking about figures that we want that are on the pre-order list. We're talking about wait list, times it's taking for figures to come. So the next question that I want to ask you, DLO, before we start maybe hopping into like the Hot Toys versus, is does Hot Toys need to dial it back on the amount of figures that they're announcing lately? Like, we look at, let me just bring it up here. If we look at, bring this up. Mando has been sitting here forever. Let's see what I mean. Ahsoka, we thought that was going to be a grail and go quickly. She's still sitting on Sideshow. I'm just trying to think what other ones. Luke is still sitting here. DX-19 is still sitting here. Captain America, everybody had to have that a couple years ago. A couple years ago, he's still available. The list goes on and on of figures that, didn't used to sit. Lando, Brothor, Wonder Woman, the deluxe, just had a 25% off. So the list goes on and on. So my question is, and this might be a long-winded question here, but with the state of the world that we're in, with the recession, with prices going up on everything, you just mentioned eggs being hella expensive. With all that, people are probably being more and more selective. I know I am trying to dial back on just buying figures for the hell of it. Rescue got me, but I've been good otherwise.
It's a good figure.
It is a good figure. I open it up today. I'm like, it does look pretty good. And then I put it back in the box. But so the question is, we have all of these side characters, like Hot Toys is really coming out with more and more. Years ago, when I was not collecting, there was maybe 40 on pre-order. Now you said there's 130. And the stuff seems to sit longer and longer. So my question is Hot Toys still doing good? Or do we think they need to dial it back? Does it not matter? What are your thoughts on that topic?
Well, before we deep dive into that there, because this is a very loaded question and there can be arguments for both sides of the answer to this here, but I want to take notice, point out to what Graham pointed as far as figures that he just randomly selected there. Graham, do you know what every figure you picked on that list, do you know what they all have in common?
Star Wars.
Not exactly. I was going to say they all have another figure right after it.
That's true.
First one, every figure that you pointed out specifically,
Ahsoka.
You did it involuntary, but you did it here. Every single one of them, there's a follow-up figure right after that there.
Captain. So
you have phenomenal figures that are sitting now. And the reason they're sitting for two things. One, we went through the overproduction of these figures here, right? And the second one is shortly after release of these figures, maybe sometimes even prior to release, their successor has already been announced. How frustrating is that for a collector? Like, seriously, if you think about how frustrating is that for a collector? Because now you're giving us the impossible decision that we have to make. Do I get one? Do I get both? And you know what winds up being the answer? Neither. Because something else comes out that catches our eye, that is prioritized now. The Beskar Mando, huge. Oh, shout out to Riley. Bam.
Riley, what's up?
The Beskar Mando came out. Everybody was in love with their figure for a week, and then Chrome Mando was announced.
Then
completely, it's still, I mean, it's like 2 years removed now, but I'm still upset about that. I think everybody is, quite frankly, who bought it and is trying to either upgrade to the Chrome Mando or sell their original. It's just, it's a tough day as a collector when that happened. But you have Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. Shortly after, you have the DX20 and 21 Ahsoka from Mandalorian coming out. Now that Ahsoka from Clone Wars was supposed to be the Grail. Now it's not, because we have another Ahsoka. So the list goes on and on. Luke Skywalker's, Batman's, you name it. So the question is, does Hot Toys need to dial back the amount of figure announcements? I'm going to say no. No, they don't have to do that there. But if they're going to make a conscious effort to announce more figures, what they also need to promise to collectors to show that they respect their money that they desperately want from us, they need to respect our time. And that ties into what we were talking about before with delays, Sideshow not having things in inventory. If you give a collector time to appreciate and enjoy a figure, they're more likely to grow an attachment to that figure and less likely to sell it. Selling is the end-all be-all of how we value a figure. If everybody's selling a figure, it tells me, who's browsing, that figure is not worth it because nobody wants to keep it. If I really find a figure online to purchase secondhand, that tells me that's a very good figure. I should probably put that in my collection because it's quite valuable to people. So at the end of the day, with all these announcements here, I don't think there's anything wrong with them per se, simply because if we had the time to purchase the figures we wanted, we'd be more specific with our pre-orders. And if we're more specific with our pre-orders, then there would be a correct amount being made for the next figure to come out, and the market would balance itself out. And every figure would have a higher value because now there's nothing to automatically make it obsolete because there's no improved one right away. Does that make sense? So for me, I just feel like there's nothing wrong with having more figures. In fact, everybody loves options. I love having more options, but I don't like the feeling of paying full retail for something and then it immediately being sold on the secondary market or a BST group for a fraction of what I just paid for it. That makes me feel like I made a bad decision as a collector. I may not have made a bad decision as a collector, but I certainly feel like I have, simply because my fellow collector doesn't agree with how I feel about the figure in a way, just because they're ready to part with it so quickly. So that kind of plays into why I don't pre-order. That kind of plays into, why I'm always looking for deals, looking for other vendors and stuff like that, simply because, now the game for me as a collector who has a large collection that loves his figures, but now realizes that being in the game for so long, I'm going to love these figures for a certain amount of time. And then eventually I'm going to change my focus and curate my collection in a different direction than what I initially planned. I'm more realistic about it. And I don't think there's any figure, as much as I may love them, that is ever going to stay in my collection forever. I've come to grips with the realization that that's not me as a collector. Right. So
that's interesting.
At the end of this year,
most people probably won't admit to that. So that's
you got to have a conversation with yourself.
Right.
You really do. And be honest with yourself there, because you'll just be throwing money away just to please everybody else but you. At the end of the day, when the microphone is off, the camera is shut off, I have to live with this collection. I have to look at it, not anybody else that's looking at there. And the same goes for everybody else that's, collecting theirs. I'm not curating for you. I'm curating for me. And that's how you should curate your collection. There was a person who saw it was an interesting comment I got the other day, my tour video. You know which one I'm going to go with there. It was a compliment, yet a slap in the face at the same time. But it was interesting kind of reading it there. There was a gentleman, I can't remember his name. So I'm probably for the best. I don't want to shout anybody out or anything like that there. But, he admired the collection. But then he followed up with a question saying, why do I have so many crappy figures that nobody else would want? And he started listening through the names. I was like, well, some people would disagree with that. But okay, that's his opinion of it there. But the point is, if we collected for everybody else, this would be a very miserable hobby. And for me personally, where I was going with this direction this year was that now the game for me is, if I know for a fact that I will probably realistically never keep something forever, then I need to make sure I get the best price possible, because depending on what the market is, and depending on how collecting is going to be in the next 2 to 4 years, these are either A, going to be worth more, or B, worth less. So what I'm doing is I'm minimizing my loss if I have to take one, or I'm increasing my profit if there is one to be made. So that's where I am as collecting, because for me, longevity is very hard in this hobby simply because of two things: money and space. You can only have so much space. There's only so much money you want to invest, right? We all have different numbers for each one of those things here. But at the end of the day, hey, that's the reality of collecting. If you're going to be doing this and not going to burn yourself out, or switch focuses, go into statues, and this is what you're going to do 1/6 collecting, you have to understand that there's going to be 130 things to be pre-released that are eventually going to be at least a good chunk of that you're going to want. And in order to do that, depending on where you are in your collection, you may have to make some tough choices and cut a couple of figures that someone would think is a grail and sell them, or something that is not a grail and take a loss on it there. So for me, I don't think Hot Toys dialing back is the answer. I think Hot Toys needs to deliver sooner on these figures to keep people more engaged, more excited, more appreciative of the figures that they have. And then eventually, if they want to upgrade, they will upgrade, but they don't feel compelled and forced to upgrade because it's the latest and greatest, and the figure is coming out right around the corner when the figure you just pre-ordered. It just doesn't make sense for us, because you're keeping us on a short leash, and essentially you're making us feel, I don't want to say bad about being collectors, but second guessing why we collect in the first place.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it's kind of like a vicious cycle too, where it stems from that, but then people, when the newest thing comes out, then they decide, well, I got to sell, I got to get out of this. And then they wind up selling at the second-hand market for taking a loss. And then the more and more that happens, people are trying to get more and more of these deals. And then now it's affecting Sideshow. So now Sideshow has to do the BOGO and the 30% off and stuff to get you to buy from them, because all these people are selling in anticipation for these new figures coming out. And then before you know it, we're changed on how we think, and we're looking for the best deal. And like BOGOs are coming out, and we're still like, I'm going to keep waiting. I'm going to wait for the better deal. So it's like, it's weird how that happens. But I really like what you said too about, guys, your collection should make you happy. If it doesn't make me happy, who gives a shit? Like, it's yours. You're the one that's looking at it. So, and be respectful. Like, it's weird. And I don't know how people can kind of come across on YouTube and just say comments like that sometimes, where they're like, oh, you should have done this, or do this, or why do you have that figure? Like, I have that figure because I like it. Like, that's why I have it. So, but things change. And I think going back to what you said, where Hot Toys needs to really work on getting these things out sooner, a lot changes from when something is announced to when something is released. And for me as a collector, this is an expensive hobby. I have 2 kids, a mortgage, projects around the house that we're doing. So I'm trying to be selective. And, I got to pay for summer camp and stuff like that. All this stuff's coming up. So
not cheap.
I wanted this figure, I have to see where I'm at in life when that figure comes out. If it would have come out 4 months ago, maybe things would have been different. But, the way that all these figures hit too, maybe there's multiple figures coming out at the same time. Now I have to decide which are the most important, because I can't get them all at once. So stuff like that does happen. Things change because, your circumstances change. Like 2 years, a lot can happen in 2 years' time. So yeah, do what makes you happy. If you change your mind too on a figure and you pre-ordered it, I wouldn't tell anybody to feel shame about that. Like, it happens to me. I've pre-ordered and then I'm like, I don't need this, or, my priorities have changed, or something better came along. And I'm kind of like you, DLO, where there's things that I really want to keep in my collection, but at the same time, I know I might change. I'm always evolving or changing, and I love this hobby, but it doesn't mean just because I love something right now that something better isn't going to come along or something like that. So I just think we all have to be realistic about that. But let me just check back in with you guys in the chat. Going back to our first topic here. Let me just find where we were. Commander Green says, I want everything that Hot Toys is making, but I'm not going to lie. I would be okay if it slowed down a little so I could backtrack on a few older figures. Yeah, that's the thing too. I cannot go backwards anymore because there's so much stuff coming out in the future that I have to really plan ahead and make sure that I have the funds, ahead of time. So there isn't really as much going backwards for Terminators or Predators or Jack Sparrow or stuff like that. So I totally get that. If it slowed down a little bit, we could breathe and maybe pace ourselves a little bit more. Because do you think like this many pre-orders is running some people out of the hobby as well?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, when the spike first happened and we were starting to, like, as you said, Graham, like when you first started in the hobby, and you said you started around what, 2020? You said, I think around that time.
Beginning of 2020. Yep, April.
Yeah, so in 2020, you know the exact month. That's adorable. It's just like I remember when I got it. Pepperidge Farms remembers, but no, I mean, at that time, 2020, I mean, it was a different piece altogether. You mentioned earlier in the stream that like there was about maybe 40-ish pre-orders at the time. And that was, even that was a lot, because let's be honest. I mean, you do the math. I mean, back then the average was maybe $250 a figure, give or take, back then. And 40 figures at $250, do the math. I don't know many of us who can afford 40 figures at $250 a pop, not including taxes and shipping, right? But that's where we were. Right. And then huge spike, reissues, 2.0s. I mean, it was climbing very, very fast there. So it's just one of those things where I think for us as collectors, I think we need to understand, and this is very hard for all of us to understand. And, I myself feel conflicted about what I'm about to say here myself, because I go back and forth too. But it's just like, we can't have everything. Right. We are supposed to miss things. There are supposed to be things that we don't get to put in our collection, at least not right away. Because, like Graham mentioned, life gets in the way. He's got put kids in summer camp. That is not cheap. I'm a dad too. It doesn't get cheaper as they get older. I think a lot of dads can understand that there. But I mean, at the same time, if I miss out on something, or you miss out on something, or somebody in the chat misses out on something, you got to look at the big picture here. What that does for the community and the hobby as a whole, it makes it healthier. It makes it healthier to a sense where at a time before this weird, dark period we're going through happened, you were able to get your money back out of a figure. You were able to maybe even make a profit on a figure. If you lost, you didn't lose that far. It wasn't that big of a blow. You didn't have to list the same figure at the same time as another guy in the BSC group, but you just saw his post, so now you're going to put it $50 less to get. None of that had to happen back then. That was all unheard of. Or my favorite, in search of, not looking for under retail. I mean, those ones, yeah. You would be destroyed. You'd be destroyed if you did that there. You would probably quit the hobby. That was a bad post to make. But now there's comments is like, I got this price, I got that price. I'm like, whoa, okay. But I think as hard as this may be for everybody to hear now, because I know there's going to be things that people are going to want and going to be like, man, F you, DLO, for saying this. But I think it's important to put the hobby first over every figure we want, because it is going to benefit each and every one of us more at the end of the day. If you don't want to spend more money in the hobby, you want to fund the hobby with the hobby, aren't you going to feel better that whatever figure you bought is going to hold its value and to help you pay more of that next figure you want as well? I mean, I think that's how I would feel about it there personally. I would like to feel good at that, like, hey, the figure I bought is going to help me get the next figure I want, So it's all different. Everybody's a little different on that there, but I think at the end of the day, as hard as this is to hear, I think what's happening right now is very, very good for the hobby. And I'm looking forward to it kind of healing itself a little bit more.
Great take on that, DLO. I think like you said too, the sooner that people realize they can't get everything, the sooner that I think you feel better about the hobby, because we're chasing our tail with all of these figures coming out. And I think that leads to some of the choice changes, like I need to get this, okay, but now I can't get it because this is coming out or these two are coming out, so I'm going to get this. I think if we're curating our collection, we're selective with what we're getting, and selective is something that could mean something different to me than you. Like selective for you could be 10 figures a year, it could be 20 figures a year for me, you know, whatever the case may be. But being selective in your own right, to your own budget. King of the castle.
King of the castle.
So I think if you guys understand you can't get everything, you know, you're being selective, you have a plan, I think it's just going to help you feel better about the hobby, because you're not going to feel like you're just trying to buy everything that comes out. You're like, nope, that's not on my radar. I love it. All these figures are great, but it's just not something that's high on my priority list. So, you know, if something's lower on that priority list, you pass on it. You don't feel compelled to buy it. And then, like for me, when I do pass on something that I like, but I don't love, I feel better because I'm like, I just saved that money for the figure that I really do love and that I really want to get. So like the DeLorean, you know, for me, it's really hard to not look at BST, eBay, Sideshow, looking for deals all the time. But because I wanted to get another Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper to pair with my other one, I thought it would look cool in twos. And I saw one yesterday on eBay. Final bid one for like $227. If you've seen them everywhere, they're asking like $4 or $450 for them, which is ridiculous. But this one went for $227, and I passed on it because I'm like, you know, I got one. I don't need a second. I'd like one. It'd look cool with behind like Darth Vader, but I don't need one. I could pocket that money, put it towards my DeLorean, and save that. So like it felt more empowering for me to say no and know that it's going to something bigger down the line, if that makes sense. So it just makes you feel better about being in the hobby and keep going with it. You won't tap out because you're not trying to get all these great figures, and they all are great. Even if it is something that I have no connection to, it is still a great figure. It's still a work of art. So that's just my 2 cents about that too, is if you can kind of pinpoint your niche and what your budget is and, you know, what you're going to be selective with, I think you'll be happier in the hobby as well. And Evil Sneaker says DLO is dropping some wisdom. Well, of course.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
He's like the man of faith in the Wolfpack.
The man of faith.
He's always dropping wisdom on us.
AKA I'm the grumpy old man collector.
Me and like 5 other people want that Van Helsing figure. Makes me love it even more. That's a cool take too, Joker. I like that. You know, just because
totally
the masses don't like it, it's almost like, well, I like it even more now. So take that.
I'm kind of the same way too. Like if someone doesn't like it, I love it more. I don't know. That's kind of like my thing too. Like I don't know. Like if something for me, it just feels more like, you know, special. It feels more like exclusive in a way. Just like, oh, you don't like it? I love it. I need to get this now. Thank you.
It's like when we watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as kids and everybody liked Michelangelo. And I'm like, I'm not going to like Michelangelo because everybody else does. I want to like somebody that isn't as popular, you know? So it's like the same thing. Like if everybody likes it, it's just kind of watered down or it doesn't seem right.
Important question. Who did you like?
Leonardo. Blue is my favorite color.
There's something wrong with it. You had me. Then
he
lost
never
me.
Ever uses his swords, which now irritates me as an adult.
Ridiculous.
Just stab somebody. Come on. But let's see. I decided to collect only DC and Marvel figures. There are so many figures out there. I figured I'm better off limiting what I collect. You are better off to have a direction of where you want to take your collection. If you don't have any type of direction, it's easy to fall under and get sucked down the rabbit hole and be in big trouble. I did not have as much direction as I would have liked when I started. It was just buy what looks cool. Star Wars was all over the place, and Star Wars alone can be something that you can just get, in very big trouble with. So like, I just am like, okay, I'm narrowing it down to the original trilogy. I cannot collect the prequels, and I do dabble in The Mandalorian, but I don't even get that whole line. So, that's something that I decided to do. And then, again, it's got to be something I love and not just like. So, is there anything, DLO, that you kind of, same thing, you kind of limit yourself, like certain Star Wars lines, or like DC? What goes through your head if you're going to get a DC figure or not?
Well,
Because that's a little
well,
different.
that
with
is
DC,
just because
it's kind of all over.
it's a little bit more manageable, to be
Right.
frank and honest with you. I mean, that's the thing about DC. I say in general, we're talking in general, like what I've come to learn, which was hard for my brain to understand for a while there, is like, I don't have to complete lines. Like, that was a very hard thing for me to get over. I had to complete it, even if the figure wasn't necessarily my favorite character, or I wasn't thrilled about whatever. I had to have it because this was part of the line here. And when I started removing those figures from my collection, like, the vision became clear of what I wanted to be. So for DC, thankfully, that's not an issue, because us DC fans, we're starved. We'll take what we can get.
That's true.
It's
That's
not
probably a bad
it's not-
example.
It's not a hard one there. But I mean, if you're looking for Star Wars, I just finished saying a second ago, like, I'm phasing out clone troopers, or any trooper for that matter there, because I mean, put it to you like this here. Let me ask you a question, Graham. Let me answer your question with a question. If you had a choice and you had to choose between, let's say, who's your favorite trooper? What's your favorite trooper you have or want?
It's Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm classic, so yeah.
Okay. So let's say you had a choice between Return of the Jedi, Stormtrooper, excuse me, Deluxe with the base and all that stuff.
Yep.
The really cool one there, right? I'm sure that's the one you're talking about, right? You had a decision to make. You can only get one because you're running out of room, and you also want the new Return of the Jedi Darth Vader that was just announced this month. Which one would you pick? If you had to choose between one, you only have enough room to fit one more figure: Deluxe Stormtrooper
It's
or
really
Vader.
tough.
I know.
I'd probably go with the Stormtrooper just because I have a Vader already.
Ooh,
I don't know.
poor choice. You
Don't
have to
put
go
me
with
on
Vader.
the spot like that. I don't
You
know.
have to go with Vader, but you understand my argument to it there.
I
right?
do, but I'm just looking at it as variants. I already have a variant of Vader, so if I have no more room, probably keep the Stormtrooper.
Do you have any Stormtroopers now? I can't tell back there.
Yeah,
Do you not have one?
I got the Return of the Jedi and Scout, and then Patrol is back. I think those are it. I'm not a big trooper guy.
Wait a minute. But you just said a second ago you already
want a
have a Vader.
second
It looks
one.
like you.
I want
Oh, so you don't want a second
Return of the
Vader?
Jedi. I do want a second Vader, and I have room, so it's not really a problem.
Oh, what a cop-out answer. They're just see, you're part of the problem. Be part of the solution. There it is.
Sorry, I probably failed that one
Unbelievable.
big time.
It's okay.
Oh man, poor Joker was eyeing the Han and Chewie 2-pack on eBay. It was a low bid. Then guess who fell asleep and missed the auction closing? I've done that where not necessarily where I fell asleep, but like the 15-minute thing came on, and then I got busy doing something, and I like an hour later I come back to it. I'm like, shit, and then you see low bid, and you're just like, damn, like. But I always just say it wasn't meant to be. We got
Yeah, it's happened to
Big
me too.
Dog Pound 1 in the house. Give him a whoop, whoop, whoop. What is going on, my friend? Welcome to Wolfpack Wednesdays. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Big Breda says, I love Raphael. That's the coolest one. He was always kind of a jerk. But
Tell me how you really feel.
we got Leonardo. So yeah, some people back me. Appreciate that. We got some people barking in the chat, but are they barking, D'Lo, or are they howling? I think they're howling.
Could be a howl or wolves.
I think
Not
we got to get
dogs.
a howl drop. So we'll work on that for next
That
week.
would be dope. Yes.
We'll all start
I like that
howling.
idea.
Okay.
Jeez.
So you guys,
All
it's
these
coming.
money
Don't worry.
ideas. Leave some ideas in the chat, guys.
When does a collection stop being a collection and turn into a museum?
That's a
deep.
really good question. No, that's a good one. Graham, you want to answer this one first here?
I don't know how to answer this one. Go ahead.
Really? So it's on me? Okay. I didn't know how to answer, so I was gonna throw it to you. But okay. Oh man, let's see. When does it turn into a museum? I would suppose for me, I'm guessing like to kind of answer. I mean, I would say to me probably where like I'm no longer interested in changing the figures around. I'm no longer interested in adding more to display. I think it turns into a museum. I think when you're content and you're ready to call it quits, I think that's when it really truly becomes a museum there. Just because by definition, a museum is something that is priceless and you'll never see it again outside of how it is preserved right now. So I think that's when it turns into a museum. I think it's when you're done. That would probably be my best guess on how to answer your question there, Borns again.
So
retirement. That's when it's a museum.
If you retire, would you just get rid of everything, or would you keep all of it, or would you keep a select few? I mean, obviously things could change, but like, do you have an idea of like, if this ever becomes stale to you, do you have an idea of what you would do?
You know, I haven't thought that far ahead, to be honest with you. Because, you know, it's kind of like Carlito's way. Every time I think I'm out, it pulls me back in, right? That's kind of how it feels there. So no matter how many times I think to myself, I'm content, I'm happy with where my collection is, there's something that, you know, to Hot Toys' credit, gives me something that I didn't realize I wanted or I forgot I wanted. So I think for me, I think it's going to come to be where I feel like I have the perfect balance of the things that, you know, I loved in the past, things that I love currently now, and things that essentially will be for me timeless. I think that's what I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for nostalgia. I'm looking to preserve memories I have with the movies and the shows and what have you like that are here. And then I think essentially I'm looking for them to come to the point where like I don't feel the need to have to change or move something out of the collection and make room for something else. I think that's what I'm looking for because, you know, I have quite a few Star Wars figures. Some people will say that the ones I have that I'm going to mention here are grails, and they may be right about that there. That's their opinion there, but I'm tired of them and I think I'm going to sell them. I'm not going to name names and stuff like that there. I don't want people to go crazy in the chat on this here, but I'm looking at how much space I have and how much I want to devote to the hobby. And, you know, I'm looking around and those are the ones that are on the chopping block for me. So I think when I get to that perfect balance, and that's what I'm looking for, keyword balance, when I have the perfect balance of, you know, what's important to me and it feels like there's nothing else to move around, I think that's where it gets there to me personally.
Well, it's a good answer. I don't know if I have a great answer for it, but I think you're right. Like, I think it becomes a museum when you stop buying as much, you stop caring about moving stuff around or reposing. Maybe you're not in the room as much, and you're busy doing other things, and it's just more of like a museum. And I've thought about too. I don't have a plan on like stopping or getting out, but at the same time, I do have a plan that this is pretty much the space that I'm using. So curating will have to be a thing. And if I ever get sick of that, I could see myself being like, this is too much. Like, there's too much good stuff. I don't have the room. Maybe I should just be done. I don't know what that looks like. Does that look like selling everything and just being done? Does that look like keeping what I have? Or does it look like keeping one shelf and whatever fits into that shelf is what stays here? So I haven't gotten to that point because I'm just having too much damn fun right now. But, I think it's just stuff to think about. I mean, we don't know what life's going to throw at us. So, you know, if you ever, if life gets too busy or, something happens and you lose the interest for the hobby, there's nothing wrong with that. That's life. That's what happens sometimes. So, but it's a deep question. So I do appreciate that one. When does it become a museum? The Thor says it turns into a museum when you're walking around checking him like a security guard and start charging at the door.
or that. Forget everything I said and just Thor's answer.
Hands
there we
off.
go. Yep. Don't touch the glass.
Yeah, sure. You pass years collecting for then sell all out when retire. I leave all to my son. That's pretty cool.
I love
Joao.
that.
No,
love
and
that.
that's
Cool answer.
I'm a girl dad, so I don't know if my girls will care, but I would hope that they would have some memories of us like just hanging out down here or me having the figures out and them kind of checking it out. So I hope there is like some sort of sentimental thing that they would take one and just have somewhere that like, hey, I remember my dad having this, in our basement where we hung out and, just even something like my dad is into cars and there's that. I'm not into cars as much as he is, but if there's something that makes me think of him, when the time comes that he's gone, that's obviously something that I'm going to want, like whether it's a hood ornament or a model car, whatever the case may be. Like, I think if that meaning's there, I think that's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at this one.
You wish, Joker.
Surely you jest.
I'm getting buried with those figures. Nice try though.
Believe me, 9 out of 10 times you regret selling a whole collection. I was doing the full line of, what is that? MOTUC by Maddie Collector. Sold all. Regret 100%.
What that stands for.
Let us know what that stands for, Big Breda. But it's interesting because, again, with kids in daycare, and all this other stuff we have to pay for. Like, I love the hobby, but I've had to sell some figures to get other figures or, whatnot. And there have been some that I don't regret at all.
Oh, that makes sense.
But there are some that, Masters of the Universe. But there are some that I do regret. And I can only imagine like going off on a whim, selling a whole collection and then be like months later, oh my God, what did I just do? So I don't know.
That's harder though, don't you think? I mean, when you say like a whole collection, I mean, that's definitive. That is
right.
It's just, that's really like an extreme, example there. I mean, if you pull in and out from there, like if you have representation, I think that's a little bit different where it's a little bit more palatable in your gut because I agree with you, Rita. Like if I gave up an entire line, I feel like I would feel nothing but regret. I really would. I just don't see that there. That's why when I said line collecting is not realistic at a certain stage of collecting, I think line collecting is extremely negative after a certain level and years of doing it there, where, figures that may not be as great on their own, but they're there because they fit in with the rest of them. Eventually that's going to be the first one to go. And I think that's the hardest thing because now you just kind of broke it all up. But once you get past that in your head, it feels a little bit more like a little bit more free, a little bit more freedom that you have to kind of pick and mix and match things now. Like before, like my OCD would kick in. If I had something that didn't belong with that figure and it was right next to it there, like I just, like I would have to get rid of it or something like that. But now it's just like I can have my favorite version of Batman with my favorite version of Aquaman, or my favorite version of Iron Man with my favorite version of Star-Lord. None of it has to connect anymore. Like for me, and I feel like once I got rid of that kind of effect that it had on me, then I felt better about my collection. I felt better in the direction it was going in there. So it's tough. But if you had to rip the Band-Aid off and take out an entire line, I think everybody would feel the same exact way you do feel on that one there, Breda. Me personally, I think I would probably quit if I had to give up an entire line just like that. That would be tough. That'd be tough for anybody. So yeah, don't recommend that.
Joker sold his car for some eggs. It's like selling the cow for a couple beans. It's crazy.
Finally got rid of the Pinto.
Thank you for telling me that what I'm doing, or when I'm doing the whole Mando line, LOL. Yeah, he's hell bent on collecting that whole Mando line, even to this day. So, Godspeed.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I can't do it. Bless you. I can't do that.
And good night to the Thor. He's got to head out, but thank you so much for watching tonight. Hopefully, we see you next week as well. Sleep tight.
Thanks,
but he
Thor.
says, what's interesting about Mandoline is that his son loves it too. After 10 years, he will look at it with some affection for sure. I hope. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing too. You know, even for me too, like my kids love Guardians of the Galaxy, so we watch that together. So, you know, they like kind of coming down here and checking out the figures once in a while. Or, you know, will it stick? I don't know, but I kind of hope it does. Even just to, you know, so they have some of that sentimental value. But I don't need them to be like
awesome.
In it with me, you know?
Yeah. But I think that's awesome that you can share a memory with your kids there. I mean, that's, for me, it makes me feel better that I feel like I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? So right. I think that's awesome, Breda, what you're doing with your son there, because that's gonna be a core memory for him. That's gonna be just like you and just like me, just like everybody else. You know, it's gonna be a memory that they're gonna hold on to. And let's say down the road he's a hot toy collector and, you know, they released Mando for, you know, 7.0 by the time he's old enough to collect on his own. I mean, he's gonna think of you. So I think that's a cool reason to do what you're doing there. So my hat goes off to you, man. That's awesome.
Love it. Family man, stand-up guy. One day he'll be on the show. Appreciate it. Here we go.
Throw that in his face some more. Should have been here. You could have said this on my show.
All right. Let's move on. And I like how you guys in the chat are part of this Wolfpack and you help keep the conversations going. A, because it's a lot of fun. And B, it saves me some topics for next week too. So having said that, we're going to play a little game. Ooh, it's the Hot Toys versus game. Now, DLO, you've played this once or twice, I believe.
I think once. Yeah, once maybe. Yeah, once, I think.
So you get the overall gist of the game. We put two figures against each other, and you can pick one that would be in your collection and one that could not. Could be sentimental reasons. Could be the figure looks great. Could be the accessories that come with it. However, there's a little twist to this game that we're playing tonight. These aren't figures at all. These figures haven't been made. We have to pick which character we want Hot Toys to make the figure of. Could it happen? Maybe. Maybe not. But we're going to talk about Hot Toys versus on figures that we want Hot Toys to make. So let's bring it up without further ado. Get our first game going here. It's just you and I, but I want you guys in the chat to play with us too and give us your decision. So on the left, we have William Wallace from Braveheart. On the right, we have Gladiator. Two iconic movies, if you ask me, that I love both of them. So I know, and we're not counting third party here, DLO. So this is like stuff we want Hot Toys to make. So figures that they haven't made. I get it. Yeah. So talk me through this. Which one would you want made and why?
Well, first of all, Graham is not messing around, folks. I don't know if I can take the second, third ones he's got lined up here. Well, maybe I can. I can kind of tease. I can see what he got there. But this first one is freaking tough. Thank you, Graham. Okay. So you have the OG, William Wallace, the one that changed battles in cinema forever, in which Gladiator definitely took a lot of inspiration from, for sure. All right. So we have William Wallace in his iconic kilt warrior attire, and you have Maximus Meridius.
That's it, Maximus.
In
Go ahead.
his
Sorry.
commander outfit there. No, it's fine. I'm trying to think of like where I saw this from. So this is the beginning too. Okay. So I'm gonna take points away for both here. One, William Wallace does not have his blue face paint for his war paint, right?
Okay.
And Maximus does not have his full gladiator gear with the helmet on.
Could be an accessory.
If I had, could be accessory. I mean, yes, this Maximus is a DX. It comes with two different outfits, guys. The old school DXs. So tough. I don't know. Let me go first. Is a good answer. You go first. You go.
This
first.
Was tough, but you've talked me through it. I'm gonna go Gladiator because I like the movie a little bit more. I think they're both amazing, but I've always just been a fan of the story of Gladiator. And B, even though it's not pictured, I would love to have the helmet accessory and just have him in full. I think just the William Wallace would be great because you have the clothing and the different colors and just that, but the armor is something that is to behold as well. You have the horses on there and just all of the different materials that are going on. So I'm a bigger fan of Gladiator. I think I would pick Gladiator, even though I want them both to be made. I think Hot Toys could do some really good damage by making these figures. Can you imagine though? Like seriously, if Hot Toys
I can't.
Out of the blue comes out with a William Wallace or a Gladiator, and I think it would sell really good. But then again,
100%.
I mean, maybe William Wallace would sell a little bit better. Maybe it's a little bit more of a iconic movie than Gladiator, but they're both still pretty good. So anyways, I would go with Gladiator, and that's my choice.
I'm going to go the opposite. I don't think you're wrong, but I'm going to go William Wallace. I think overall, the movie itself is slightly stronger than Gladiator. They're both best pictures
iconic.
And all. They're both iconic there, but I gotta go William Wallace. I mean, Mel Gibson starred and directed in that movie. Like I said, at the time, no one made like epics like this before. Like literally, this is like the grandfather of every battle we see now in today's movies. I gotta give the edge to William Wallace on this one here. If they throw in the exclusive blue face paint as an additional accessory, if I pre-order, they throw that in. That's what it would have to be. Okay, I'm gonna go William Wallace.
Would the hair be sculpted or rooted?
I mean, if it's Hot Toys, it's gonna be sculpted. If you threw in art, it'd be rooted. So
sure. All right. Let's check in and see what you guys said here. Joker's, I think he's joking. He said Abbott and Costello. However, I would actually love an Abbott and Costello 2-pack. Again, my dad knows nothing. Well, he knows about my figures. When he comes over, he'll stare at them for like 10, 15 minutes and just kind of like look at them. But he doesn't collect them or anything like that. But he's a huge fan of Clint Eastwood. And he's also, I kind of want like the sideshow Clint Eastwood, but he's also a huge fan of Abbott and Costello. So I would love to get an Abbott and Costello again, just to kind of have something in the collection too that makes me think of my dad and us watching all those Abbott and Costello movies when I was a kid. So I think that's what's so cool about this hobby too, is it's memories that you're putting in here too. You look at something and you not only have memories of the movie, but you have memories of yourself, your life, nostalgia, stuff like that. So I think that's something that
happened, all that stuff.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that are in the hobby. Like if I had an Abbott and Costello figures in the collection, it would make me think of watching the movies, but it would also just make me think of my dad. So it's just weird how like these things maybe don't even make us think of the movies themselves, but life and people and loved ones and stuff like that. So I know you're probably joking, but I'm all for it. So keep it coming. Rick says William Wallace, but man, I'd buy both. The sword is pretty cool.
I mean, if you gave me the choice for both, Rick, I would totally answer both as well too. But
I would too.
Just one. Got to give it to my boy, Willie Wallace.
Willie. Maximus. Gladiator. Gladiator. Gladiator.
That's Gladiator.
Yeah. Wallace. My dad wears a kilt. He thinks he's this guy. I like it. Two great films, yeah, and that's the point. I always try to make this really tough. Freedom.
There you go. Count that. I mean, there's no wrong answer. Like, I can't make an argument for anybody who disagrees with me. I don't blame you.
Nope.
It's not easy.
Hey, you know what, though? I really want to go watch Gladiator now.
You know they're making a part 2 now. You heard about that?
I did.
Yeah, Denzel Washington's going to be in the movie. Is
Russell Crowe going to be in it?
No. I think it's supposed to be
separate.
Yeah, you remember like the prince that he kind of saved, the younger boy, or whatever in that movie.
Yes.
Like he's going to be all grown up, and I think it's going to replay that whole situation again.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Interesting.
Could work. Could fall on its face. We'll see. Joker says he's not joking. He loves Abbott and Costello. I love the it's been a minute, but my dad had the whole set. So we do like the is there Invisible Man one or the Frankenstein and just a bunch of funny ones. Those guys were great. I know Sideshow had a deal. I don't know if you've seen it. They had like a statue of the two with the baseball skit going on. It was like $400. It looked like a cool piece. Yeah.
You're gonna have to show me that. No, I didn't see that.
I don't know if they still have it, but yeah, I'll try to show you that. Give me the Blues Brothers. I never saw those movies.
They're good, man. Or at least the first one was good.
Right, and then John Goodman came in and he did his best, from what I've heard.
Yeah. No, it was fine.
Holy cow, the Thor's still here. He's about to leave until this topic. I picked William Wallace so I can take them apart. Okay, the way the King of England did. Not Gladiator because Russell Crowe ruined it by playing Zeus. That was hard to watch. And the new Thor.
When did Zeus become Italian? I really didn't understand that one there. Hey, you got the lightning bolt. I was like, okay. Interesting take. Continue. Yeah.
All right, so that was a good first one. Now we're going to go into a 2-pack. A 2-pack versus a 2-pack.
Love me a good 2-pack. What do we got?
We're going comedy.
Comedy.
So we got Dumb and Dumber on the left and Wayne's World on the right.
I love both. Yeah, I'll take this one. This one's easier for me. I love both, but I think Wayne's World held up better than Dumb and Dumber did. So I'm going to go Wayne's World.
Can you imagine getting the guitar? Obviously, the hat. Maybe the hat comes off. The drumsticks. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to have a 2-pack of either one of these. I'm gonna go with Dumb and Dumber because this is my favorite movie growing up. My sister and I would like bike into town, rent this movie whenever we could in the summer, and then watch it, repeatedly. So pretty much knew all the lines, word for word. I love the comedy about it. Wayne's World is great too, but Dumb and Dumber for me, it probably wouldn't be as flashy. Like these country folk. Probably wouldn't be as flashy as like a Wayne's World 2-pack because they're more just kind of, I don't know, you put the guitar around, Wayne, but like Dumb and Dumber, I mean, what kind of, I'm trying to think like what kind of accessories, they could even have.
Oh.
But
off the top, how about a briefcase? Samsonite. Sure. I was way off.
Slappy,
that's number
swappy,
1 for
slippery. Gloves.
Ooh.
Maybe some gloves.
Ooh, the bird in the cage. Pretty bird.
Yes.
Pretty bird.
You sold my dead bird to a blind kid? Yeah. Yeah.
Now, question is, if you do go with the Dumb and Dumber 2-pack, would you get the special edition Hot Toys limited puppy van?
Suits. Oh, yeah. Shaggin' Wagon. Chicks dig it.
Shaggin' Wagon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You see, there's so much you can do with Dumb and Dumber.
Well, and then they can do a variant where they're in their tuxedos. That'd be cool because then they would stand
I think that would,
more.
if they made it, they would absolutely make it that version though. I think that would be the one they make for sure.
That would be pretty cool.
Now I got to watch the
Effects
movie again.
videos.
Thanks a lot. This has been fun.
All right, let's see what you guys say in the chat here. Dumb and Dumber 100%. Too hard, can't choose. You got to choose one. It's for the game. Dumb and Dumber. Cheech and Chong. That would be fun. That would be funny too. I always watched Up in Smoke as a kid, which we won't talk about that. But
Hindsight,
a lot
that
of the movies I
was
watched as a kid,
interesting
that
parenting.
I was like,
Yeah, no, totally.
it's fine.
Dude, one day I gotta tell you my story one day about my fear of Chucky from Child's Play. Thanks to my dad. I'll tell you that story one day. That's
And when you tell me that story, I'll tell you my fear of the Leprechaun when I watch that.
ooh,
And what that
we'll
did
save
to
that
me.
for the Halloween episode. There you
Oh,
go.
that'd be really good. Yeah.
There you go.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, the vampire one was good too. Wolfman was good. Visible Man. It's my favorite. I have promo posters framed. Yeah, I love those movies. I actually kind of want to see if I can go get them like digitally now. So thanks, Joker. I'm gonna look into those. Pretty Bird included as an accessory.
Pretty Bird.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Bubble Boy.
Ooh, you just made me
Salt
think
and
of
pepper
Wayne's World there for a
shakers.
second. I would like the deluxe to come with a Heather Locklear. That's what I would
Oh,
want
there you go.
in the first one.
That would be awesome. The scooter. There's so many things I could do with Dumb and Dumber. The scooter. You got the Batman with his motorcycle, and then next to it in your display, you got Dumb and Dumber, both of them on the bike.
Dude, you can give Lloyd like an extra pair of gloves just as an extra accessory.
Give me an ice.
Hands are starting to get sweaty here.
To Aspen. You had 2 pair of gloves this whole time? Yeah. We're in the Rockies. I'm gonna kill you. What? I'm gonna kill you, Lloyd.
Oh man.
You gonna eat that? What, that? No, yes, no, yes. Well, it crossed my mind. Yeah.
Too good. Yep. I'm staying up till 4 in the morning tonight.
I think a lot of people are doing the Dumb and Dumber here. Wayne's World's
Nothing
great too,
wrong with
though.
that.
I mean, I just
Dude, I
watched
love
the hell
Wayne's
out of
World.
Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying?
Yeah, well, no,
there's a
it
chance.
definitely has that. It definitely has that appeal to it there.
So obviously, all of these really are long shots, but it would be cool just to kind of see something outside of Disney, for Hot Toys to go back to. But these are all pipe dreams. It's just kind of a fun game to play. Let's get back into some action. Maybe go Bruce Willis. We don't have to finish all these if we don't get to them, but let's just go to Bruce. We have Die Hard on the left, which is one I've been wishing Hot Toys would make. So this one is going to be pretty easy for me. But then on the right, Fifth Element, a fun movie, cool outfits, a different looking Bruce Willis. For me, I'm just going to get right to it. It's Die Hard because this has been on my list. I did a video a couple years ago, even of top 5 figures I wish Hot Toys would make. One was Mantis, so they finally did do that one. But one of them that was on here was John McClane from Die Hard. Such a unique figure this would be. He's got the wife beater, the dirty. He's got the markings on his arm, blood, no shoes, a gun taped to his back. Whatever we could do. Like I think the John McClane would be an amazing figure to have. One of my favorite movies as well, growing up. So for me, Die Hard.
Yeah, I mean this is a good one here, but I think it's pretty obvious which one to go with there. Obviously, it's the Fifth Element. I'm joking. It's freaking Die Hard. Like I love Fifth Element. It's a cult classic. Don't get me wrong. But John McClane is John McClane. Okay. You throw that in there, it's John McClane. That's the answer. That's always the answer. So yeah, I mean, I like what you said. Accessories, the duct tape, gun in the back there. Flawless. I love that. What else, man? What else could you put in with that there?
We're like going
I
through
guess
my
he's gonna have
childhood here.
I mean,
All these
apparently we
movies.
share a childhood.
Yeah.
It's like copy and paste childhood we had. I thought I was special. Thanks, Dad.
Twinkies all day. No, I mean, but Fifth Element, They had some pretty unique guns in that too, because it's more of a sci-fi film. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, more so his outfit would just be those bright colors and it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think you can beat Die Hard. But Joker wants Mila instead.
It's
Pulp
crazy how
Fiction.
long she's been around, man.
Yeah.
had a
Resident
good career.
Evil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a quick one. Let's move it along. Move it along. Okay, we're going back to comedy a little bit. So,
Ooh.
Mrs. Doubtfire, which I've seen. I don't know if you've seen DLO. There's a third-party figure out there of Mrs. Doubtfire. Like maybe it's not third-party. Maybe it was like a custom.
Like a
just
custom?
almost like a
Yeah.
one of one. Looked really, really awesome. Really good. So, I watched Mrs. Doubtfire growing up. I also watched Austin Powers, and that was a hilarious trilogy as well. And some would
For
maybe even
sure.
say they'd rather have Dr. Evil over Austin. But what do you think about these? I tried to pin another kind of just comedy with comedy, but
No,
What are
both
your
very
choices
good. Love both movies for sure. But I already picked Wayne's World from one of my choices, so I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to go Mrs. Doubtfire.
I like it.
Mrs. Doubtfire with a second sculpt where he has the cake on his face as a
That would be
face
fun.
mask. There you go. Done.
Did you watch that movie a lot growing up? Doubtfire?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Robin Williams for me was like
Iconic.
the king of comedy growing up as a kid. Like all of his movies. I mean, Flubber.
Yep.
What was the movie where he
Jumanji?
was a kid? Jumanji, of course. Yes, thank you. There was
Jack.
a movie he did
Oh, I
where
love Jack.
Love Jack. Love Jack.
It's a great movie.
That was a great movie. Yeah. So I mean,
Aladdin.
that's true. He was the voice of Aladdin. I mean,
we grew up
the
with
man's a legend.
with them.
He's a legend. Yeah.
Well, that's a good choice. Kind of makes me second guess mine. I think I would pick Austin Powers if we got a Dr. Evil with him. But if
Sure.
we're just looking at it for what it is, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say Mrs. Doubtfire. It's different, although Austin Powers would be too. But I think Austin Powers came out a little bit later in my life, so maybe Mrs. Doubtfire again brings me more back to my childhood and whatnot. But if they were doing like the set, doing Fat Bastard, Dr. Evil, I would rather have the set and do all those characters. But Mrs. Doubtfire would be a good one to have, and it would be really cool to have. I'm blanking on the name now. What the hell? Help me out here. Who played Mrs. Doubtfire?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. I don't know why I blanked out there, but it would be nice to have Robin Williams as like in my collection. So
Yeah.
and a good movie too.
Brick
See what
picked
you
a good
guys
one
say
too.
here.
He mentioned Hook when he was
Oh
Peter
yeah,
Pan.
Hook
That
would
was a
be
good one,
good.
dude.
Yeah, Hook. Hook was another one that we always watched. So although I
What about
didn't
Good
like
Morning
seeing him
Vietnam?
old.
You ever see that some of his other movies?
Long time ago. What Dreams May Come was weird. Patch Adams was kind of weird. Then he got into
Yeah, that was a little-
some like serious roles too.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. 24-Hour Photo. You ever see that one?
Yes.
That was a weird
Very
one.
weird.
Creepy.
Yeah. He was good, though.
Insomnia.
He was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. All right, let's see what you guys got here. I think let's see. I like this Peyton going back. Yippee-ki-yay. Accessory could be a duct for him to crawl through.
Special diorama.
Jazz Inc. Where are you at? Let's go.
Seriously.
All right. Dr. Evil and Mini-Me 2-pack. Now that would be a game changer. I
That's
would have that
different,
all day
yeah.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd pick that
that'd
too.
Be cool. Doubtfire, but Powers would sell way better. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some pretty cool customs out there. These
I've seen him, yeah.
Austin Powers, Hook. Smee. How about no? You crazy Dutch bastard. Imagine a Hook figure. DLO's got a fridge.
I
filled with
just saw
Bud
that
Light.
right now. No, man. Got them filled with these bad boys, though.
Jumanji. It's a good one. Brick Love Patch Adams. Hello Vietnam.
That's what it was.
Mrs.
Hello, Vietnam. Yeah.
Doubtfire.
Right.
All right, let's do one more. We'll save the other
Go
one.
for it. What do you got?
All right, this is going to be
Ooh.
a line. So we did solos, we've done 2-packs, and now we're doing a line. Would you rather, or which one would you get if you could only choose one? Lord of the Rings, or if Hot Toys started making Game of Thrones figures? Are you a fan of both of these franchises, DLO?
I am, which is why this sucks. Okay. No, I have the InArt Lord of the Rings figures already on pre-order, and I'm waiting for confirmation that they're going to make the Game of Thrones line as well too, because they said it was on that list. I think Daenerys was. So
Daenerys is like the first one. Yep.
Very interested in that there. But if I had to choose between one, you know what? I'm just going to go and say it. I prefer Game of Thrones over Lord of the Rings.
He said it.
It's more adult flavored for me, so it hits.
I'm gonna second that. I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, but I would not consider myself like a hardcore fan or anything like that. It's more casual, like to watch it once in a while. But Game of Thrones, I was so into until they butchered that last season. So into it, and we'd have watch parties, we'd be doing all this stuff. There's so many awesome characters. Lord of the Rings as well, but something about Game of Thrones hits me different, and being able to have the 6-scale throne that made out of die cast or something,
that would be insane.
That would be awesome,
dude.
I'd
buy a freaking dragon. I'd buy dragons, dude. I would totally do that. For that, sure, why not?
You could maybe even fit one of the smaller ones in a DF, possibly.
There you
maybe
go.
Not. So I would definitely be all over the Game of Thrones. It's going to be tricky when InArt does come out with their Game of Thrones, because if their prices are high, it's still going to be a tough choice to say no to. I mean, the Joker turned out decent. Hopefully they learn from a couple of the mistakes and they keep building on that. We'll see what happens with Pennywise and some of these Lord of the Rings figures that come out. And I'm happy for the people that do like Lord of the Rings, because they'll at least have a licensed party to buy from. So, but yeah, I'm excited for Game of Thrones too. But if Hot Toys were to make one of these, I'd want them to make Game of Thrones. I think you and I are in the minority, though.
Yeah, I was reading the comments. She was like, well, we don't sound like we know what we're talking about, because everybody else says Lord of the Rings. But I know Lord of the Rings has a huge fan base. I mean, yes. I'm not going to deny that. I kind of figured this was going to be a pretty split one, just because you have over almost 100 years of Lord of the Rings, fandom there. And Game of Thrones actually took a lot of inspiration from Lord of the Rings too. So it only makes sense. It only makes sense to me. For me, I love the original trilogy. I did not like the Hobbit trilogy. I'll be honest with you guys.
I don't
know
not
if that's a
either.
Thing. I didn't like it. But if I'm watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, it's got to be the extended version, the extended cut. That's the only way I can watch it now. Like, once you watch the extended cut, it's just like, it hits different.
I remember watching The Hobbit, and I didn't know they were making a trilogy at the time. I watched the first one. I'm like, I'm making it through, and then it just like stops. And then I looked it up online. And it says, we're making a trilogy. I'm a mother. And then I tried watching the second one, didn't even make it all the way through. Kind of gave up after that. But I am a fan of the original trilogy. I got a special person in the chat right now, almost in my eyes, a celebrity. I want to say a very big hello to Dean Knight 333. I am a big fan of Dean Knight. It is awesome to see him on my channel. So everybody say hi to Dean. Thank you so much, Dean, for stopping in. I do appreciate it. Would love to have you on this show if you are ever interested. I know this guy's halfway around the world, but we'll make it work. He says Hot Toys 1/6, T800 Endo, or Aliens Ripley. DLO, what do you think? Ripley is one that escapes me to this day.
Well, to your point there, shout out to Dean, also big fan. You have made my Batman figures look amazing over the years. So much appreciate all your work. Keep doing a great job. This one's tough too. This one's tough too. It's interesting. Obviously I want both, but I would go with 1/6 T800 endoskeleton. I want that. I know that's going to be tough for anybody, and people are going to be Aliens Ripley, which I know everybody's excited about with the third-party figure. But goodness, I need that endo suit, the endoskeleton Terminator. DX13, I've been on record saying that's one of my all-time favorite figures of all time. It would only be fitting that I have the endoskeleton to go with it there. I 100% would go with that.
That's a good choice. I'm going to agree with you. Again, watching Terminator 2 as a kid, I have more memories of that than I do watching Alien. I feel like I watched Alien later in life, which doesn't take anything away from those movies because those are amazing movies as well. But Terminator, again, just hits differently for me where it's iconic. I want Ripley really bad, but I'm not going to overspend for her. And same thing with a Terminator figure, like trying to get a bunch of them, but I can't overspend on what my budget is. So I think for me too, it would be the endo, and it would just look awesome, with T1 on one side, T2 on the other side,
Die
and the
cast
endo in the middle. Yeah, just
that must be said. It has to be die cast, 100% die cast.
Right.
Gosh.
But the Ripley one is still one I really like, and I hope that they do make the newer one that's been coming soon for a while. Like I hope they give that a shot, because I know it's not Disney, but it would still be nice to be able to come out with some of those miscellaneous figures once in a while. And that's something that I've always liked about Dean's collection, is that it's not your typical Disney collection. Sure, he's got some stuff in there, but it's a mix of his passions, and he's big into horror, and you don't see that too often. While horror might not be my biggest passion, I can respect somebody else that has that and sticks to what's true to themselves and whatnot. So
absolutely,
I love seeing his channel. Dean is just always kind of does his own thing, and if you want to watch him, you watch him, and that's kind of why a lot of people like to watch him. He's real, and he's another cool part of the community. So again, thank you, Dean, for stopping in. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys for sticking with us tonight. So we're gonna finish off with a really quick segment, because I know we're getting late and we're approaching over 2 hours here. But I changed this again, DLO. It's fixated figure time. So the figure that you've been fixated on, or you are fixated on, what's a figure that you just got that you're excited about, or that you're getting, or that you're eyeing up? Just to kind of end the show, what's the figure that you're fixated on right now?
Well, again, thank you for changing the topic on me at the last minute. But
well, it's the same topic, it's just different name.
I feel like this is like kind of like speed dating for me and Graham over here. It's just like he's just trying to see how much I can take. That's it. Check, please.
Check, please.
As far as right now at this moment, fixated, I'm gonna go with something that's in my collection recently that I'm Joker stop. It's never gonna happen.
He's manifesting is what he's doing.
I will sell it to you double eBay prices if it makes you feel better. I will do that for you, Joker, because you are a friend. But something recently in the collection, I've got to say, it's got to be my new DX20 Ahsoka. I knew I wanted the Mandalorian version one, but I didn't realize how much I was gonna really like it. I figured to myself, I have an Ahsoka already in my collection. It seems like it's gonna be one of those things where it's just another version of the same character I have. It can't be that much better. And it is. It's, the fact that I have a wonderful growing Mandalorian line. She stands out of everybody that's out there. It's just like, I don't have to worry about the bending elbows thing. I feel like she has so much shelf presence that I immediately turn my eyes to her anytime I'm looking at the display. And it's just a wonderful figure that just has so much shelf presence. And I feel very happy when I have a figure like that in my collection, where if I can find one like that and then eventually be lucky enough to find a second figure to fit in that same case, it just elevates everything else around it so much more. So for me, I would have to say at the moment right now, the Ahsoka is definitely 100% what's I'm fixated on right now as far as what's in the collection now. Later on, what's coming out, I don't know any answer to that on the top of my head, but that's here today. It's got to be my Ahsoka.
I'm gonna go with a figure that just came today as well that I'm fixated on and I'm excited about and I was nervous about because this is one of my first third-party figures, and it was
Segue.
the Scissorhands figure that came in today. A little nervous because third party. I'm not huge into this. It's always been Hot Toys. Even sideshow figures, I never really got into a lot. But again, growing up, Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands, Tim Burton, amazing movie. I wanted this in my collection. So I'm going to do a review on this. So it's going to come out probably on Friday. But I opened it up, checked it out. It's amazing for a third-party figure. The head sculpt is amazing. I'm not going to take it out. I probably shouldn't. I don't want everything to fall out, but give you guys just that glimpse for now. And then I'm going to do a review, but could the body be cheap and whatnot? Yeah, probably, but I'm not really too concerned with that, DLO. I really just want him to look like an amazing representation of Edward Scissorhands. So I think that it's going to do the job. So I'm really, really excited to finally get this. I've pre-ordered the Prankster, pre-ordered Willy Wonka. So I'm kind of taking a chance here, and hoping that these figures, I know the Prankster's good. It's already got really good reviews, but I'm taking a chance that some of these third-party figures are really going to live up to the hype. So it's really it's exciting. I know Hot Toys did Edward Scissorhands a long time ago, but it's exciting to have something this fresh and this cool in the collection. So cannot wait to do that video for you guys. Let's just check in here. Luis says, Hulk smash that like button. Yes. Thank you for reminding the good people to like this video. Helps get the video out in the algorithm. Us small channels in the big parts of the world need your guys' help to, get us around so that people can see and we can add to the Wolfpack, because that's what we're doing. Wolfpack Wednesdays. Let's see. Joker says he's waiting on Kit to ship his Scissorhands. Yeah, I don't think. Again, I haven't reviewed it yet. I haven't taken him out of the box, but from what I've seen, I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. Let's see. Really into the Big Chief Studios Tommy Shelby 1/6 figure, having just binged the Peaky Blinders. I binged that as well, but I got off track on the final season and I haven't finished it yet.
Good.
So I do have to. Have you finished it?
Such a good show. Yeah, I've watched it twice actually. Just I love that show. It's really a phenomenal show. I think I brought it up on a prior stream that I think we were on before, kind of bringing it up, because I think we saw the Big Chief Studios when it was originally announced, and I was just kind of filling in because I don't think anybody else saw it besides me at that time. But absolutely amazing show. Cillian Murphy, phenomenal actor. But the whole cast was incredible. There. So definitely a must watch for anybody who hasn't seen it. It starts off a little slow in the beginning, but it picks up and it's just like buckle your seatbelt. It gets crazy. So phenomenal show. I couldn't recommend it more.
They're making a movie out of that too, aren't they? I thought I heard
that was the initial plans there, but unfortunately, I forget the name of the actress who passed away. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's still in. I hope they do. I really do. I mean, the way the last season ended, I would hope they follow through with that, but we'll see.
Evil Sneaker says he's fixed on the in-art Joker. Seems like I'm going to need to plan extra time to get that one displayed just right. It's a good first offering by in-art. It's not perfect, but I think they got some stuff to build on there. The likeness is amazing. Again, that's kind of my number one when collecting is how realistic does it look. So I think they did a really good job in that aspect.
Yeah, same. Working your bases. I stand by that.
I don't know why that was funny, but it was.
I stand by that. Now, I watch all the reviews. No one complains about the bases, but I'm the only guy on YouTube that's ever complained about the bases live.
And I haven't moved mine, and it's behind the bar here. But
you know what though? I dare you to change it to the die-cast machine gun.
Oh,
and
yeah,
get back to me. No. See, that's the thing. Every reviewer. Sorry, I don't want to go on a little tangent over here, but I feel attacked. I feel attacked.
No, never.
Every YouTuber who has this on display, or any collector, might I say, so far I've seen, no one uses the die-cast machine gun. Okay, I use the die-cast machine gun. I tried to push it to its limits. All right, he did a Michael Jackson. Okay, but everybody else has a cute little plastic knife. The only thing that's not die-cast, and like, oh, it holds up fine. Well, no, of course it does, because I did the hard stuff for you guys. So yeah, that's it. I digress.
Rant
I'm
over.
over it. That's all I needed. Scene. Okay, we're good.
Brick says, great job, guys. Brick, sorry again that didn't work out to have you on here. We did miss you. Hopefully he's coming. So he is part of the Wolfpack. He will be on the show, weekly as well. Again, we want to have special guests each week as well. But also it can just be us three, and we'll shoot the shit with you guys, and we'll have a good show. We'll talk about some really good topics, and we'll kind of go from there. So we got Trumble Dust in the house. Hello.
In a while. What's up, dude?
Yeah, good to see you. Welcome. Unfortunately, we are just leaving. We are just ending the show. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys. I had a blast, DLO. I hope you had fun with our first Wolfpack Wednesdays show. Hopefully we can keep this going for you guys. I think you guys liked it. I mean, we had a great turnout. You guys, you paved the way for great topics as well. Lots of fun, lots of laughs. Lots of just different takes on everything, but also real talk and being a community with each other. So, DLO, anything going on in your life that you want to tell everybody about?
Life is good. Collecting's good. Hobby's great.
But it can be better.
Good. But it could be better. Yes, indeed. You knew I was going. Way to steal my
did.
thunder. Jeez.
I'm leaving.
There goes my sign off there. Well, everything was going good, Graham. But no, everything is great. My video tour. If you guys haven't already seen it, if you have, thank you so much. It just hit 9K today. I was like,
congrats.
Just blown away. And just on the short of a month, 9K in views. It's just like, I don't know if I want to post any more videos, because I feel like everybody's going to be disappointed after that. Like it's all downhill from here at this stage here.
Keep going.
But yeah, thank you guys for the continued support. Thank you for honestly just reaching out to me on IG, DLO The Collector. So nice and refreshing just to have collectors reach out and, just kind of tell me their opinions on what we talk about, what I say on there, or it's thank me for something I said that, they're free to say, listen, I'm too old to BS, guys. And more importantly, I don't want to come out here and give you guys tips and tricks and things that I wouldn't necessarily do myself. I feel like that would just be just disingenuine. And, I'm okay with people not agreeing with my opinions, because I want the at least opinions to be out there so you guys see both sides and make the decision for yourself. So I hope you guys are at least entertained. If you don't agree with everything I say there, that's okay too. We're allowed to do that. But I do want to thank you guys. The support has been tremendous. The amount of people that I've been meeting and talking to has been very fun. So if you do want to reach out to me, I'll always do my best to try to reach out as soon as I can. But, sometimes work, that stuff gets in the way. But if you guys want to follow me, it's DLO The Collector on IG. If you want to see the tour, it is in my bio in there too. You're more than welcome to take a look. Definitely leave a comment and a like, subscribe if you'd like to. But thank you guys again, just in summary, for all the support. It's been absolutely amazing.
I want to talk about something.
All right.
I'd like to say something.
Yes, I love that. I love it.
I just want to say again, thank you, DLO. Brick, thank you. Glad to have you guys on the show, being part of the Wolfpack.
I thought, wait a second, could it be? And now I know for sure. I just added 2 more guys to my Wolfpack.
I was going to do the strippers and cocaine thing, but I didn't know if YouTube would be mad at me for that. So
the stuff that I say on YouTube, I think we'd get away with it. That's just me. I'm just selfish and I just want to hear it. Great line.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing we can add to this as the show goes on. This was the pilot, so good things coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love each and every one of you. See you guys back here next Wednesday. But until then, stay safe out there. And we'll see you soon. Signing off. Peace.